Chapter 1357. Teacher, Fong Ping was in a trance. He heard a familiar voice, but the language was not quite the same as it was now. Ancient language. Of course, with Fong Ping's powerful mentality, he could understand it even if there were no mentality fluctuations. Teacher? Fong Ping seemed to think of something and opened his eyes suddenly. In the next moment, Fong Ping realized where he was. On top of a cliff. It looked familiar. At this moment, at the top of the cliff, there was a table and someone was drinking tea. Fong Ping's gaze swept over, and his expression changed slightly. He knew these two people. He had just met one of them not long ago, Dong Huang. The other person, his face was still illusory, but Fong Ping recognized this style, this back. In the past, he had seen it once in the divine sect. On Enlightenment Cliff. Yes, Enlightenment Cliff. Fong Ping remembered, wasn't this Enlightenment Cliff? However, the Tao Enlightenment Cliff that he saw was only a boulder, not a mountain. Obviously, this was not the current Enlightenment Cliff, but the Enlightenment Cliff in ancient times. Heavenly Emperor, and Dong Huang. Fong Ping took a deep breath. He did not expect to see these two people just as he looked at the first picture. In his mind, these two were top-notch powerhouses who surpassed ordinary emperors. What did Heavenly Emperor leave here? What did he want people to see? Both of them gave Fong Ping the feeling that they were very young. Although he could not see Heavenly Emperor's face, he could still feel that this person must be young. Dong Huang was the same. Dong Huang was not too handsome, but he had a square face, and he looked very mature and steady. Among the 9 emperors and 4 emperors, he had always played the role of a good guy. Fong Ping calmed down and observed himself. He was also just an illusory image, just beside the two of them. The teacher just now came from Dong Huang's mouth. Heavenly Emperor was indeed these people's teacher, the teacher of origin Tao. Fong Ping did not say anything, watching quietly. This should be a scene in Heavenly Emperor's memory. What would these two say? Heavenly Emperor drank his tea quietly, not speaking for a long time. Fong Ping also waited quietly. After an unknown amount of time, Heavenly Emperor put down his teacup and said softly, "Is the immortal source forged successfully?" "It's forged successfully. He is indeed the #1 blacksmith in the 3 realms. With his help, the immortal source has been completed." Dong Huang replied respectfully. Fong Ping frowned slightly. Immortal source. The celestial source was forged 10,000 years ago, but it was said that the celestial emperor disappeared 30,000 years ago. Who would have thought that he was still around? This was big news. Previously, when Mo Wuji came in, he saw the Heavenly Emperor in the Myriad World Palace. He was also talking to those people about the immortal source. The series of changes in the 3 realms came from the immortal origin. The celestial arch fell silent again. Dong Huang waited for a while before asking again, "Teacher, must we do this?" "I have no choice." "Teacher," the celestial arch gently raised his hand and sighed. "Back then, I opened up my origin source, but I ultimately wanted to transcend it. In the end, I still left behind a huge hidden danger. If we don't get rid of the hidden danger, the 3 realms will suffer greatly." But Dong Huang was a little depressed. "But if teacher does this, they might not agree." "I know." The celestial emperor's voice was calm. "But we have no choice but to do this. I also know that on the day the immortal origin is successfully forged, perhaps that will be the end of our master and disciple relationship." "Teacher," Dong Huang said in a low voice, "there's still a way. There definitely will be. Teacher's wisdom surpasses the 3 realms and surpasses all living beings. In the past, you opened up the immortal source. Now, there must be a way. We don't have to take this path." "There's no other way." The celestial arch was a little annoyed. "I didn't think so much in the past, but in the end, I harmed the 3 realms. Maybe Yang and the others are right. I was really wrong. I also implicated you guys to walk on this path. In the past, I had selfish motives. I thought I could succeed. Who would have thought? Sai? Is the gap in the immortal source really impossible to fill? When Dong Huang said this, Fong Ping was slightly shocked. The immortal source. He knew what the immortal source was. It was the world behind the door. What did it mean? It can't be filled. The celestial Thearcha's voice was a little bitter. The stronger the immortal source, the bigger the hole. Previously, you guys could still suppress it and fill it. Now, there are more and more powerhouses in the three realms. If this goes on, I'm afraid the immortal source will be completely destroyed. Not only that, those who step on the immortal source will probably all die. The celestial larch side. It's all my greed in the past, but the immortal source can't be stopped. If it is stopped, the few of you can't suppress it either. Your strength will decline. The celestial larch was even more bitter. He could not leave or stop. If he went on, the more powerhouses there were, the more serious the problem of the immortal source would be. If he did not leave, the result would be the same. But no buts. The celestial Thearcha's voice was old, and he said slowly, "Since I caused this disaster, let me solve it. It's just that you've suffered. It's what I should do." Dong Huang also let out a long sigh. "Teacher, if the 9 emperors are destroyed, will it reduce the burden on the immortal source? If teacher suppresses the immortal source, there might be enough time to solve the defect of the immortal source. At that time, teacher can also revive us. The 9 emperors are destroyed." The celestial larch chuckled. "Are you willing? Will Qiong be willing? Will you be willing?" "Teacher, The celestial larch raised his hand and interrupted him. He said softly, "Do as I say. Among these people, you and I are not only friends, but also master and disciple. You are also the most like me. When the immortal source stands high in the 9 heavens, they will probably know what I want to do. At that time, I'm afraid it will be hard for me to survive. Teacher, it's fine." The celestial larch smiled. "This is my disaster. It starts with me, and it will end with me." The celestial larch was silent for a while, and then said, "But even if I can suppress it for a while, it will be difficult to suppress it forever. The immortal source still needs to be eliminated. It's just that the living beings of the 3 realms will suffer, but now that things have come to this, there is no other way. When the war breaks out, we will destroy the physical bodies of the living beings of the 3 realms, let them die, and temporarily alleviate the immortal source." "Teacher." Dong Huang's eyes suddenly turned cold. "Why don't we just kill them? Destroy the immortal source martial artists of the 3 realms?" "No." The celestial larch shook his head. "Now, billions of living beings in the 3 realms are cultivating the Tao of the immortal source. 20,000 years ago, I thought that the more immortal source left, the more we could suppress this disaster. In the end, I was proven wrong. Slaughtering all living beings now is in vain. If you and I don't die, the immortal source's disaster will never be solved. But you and I, who is willing to die?" The celestial Thearcha's tone was somewhat bitter. "Back then, I led you onto this path. It was wrong. I harmed your lives, and now I want you to die. Who is willing? If the living beings of the 3 realms die, wouldn't that be returning to the ancient times? Wouldn't this universe be destroyed?" "Chu Wu can still live." Chu Wu, the celestial larch, pondered for a moment, and then said slowly, 20,000 years ago, Chu Wu was defeated in the battle of the Great Tao, and he harbored hatred in his heart. If the immortal source is destroyed, the 3 realms will probably be destroyed too." The celestial larch shook his head. "So this time, we still need to suppress the strongest of the Chu Wu lineage. to prevent them from attacking the immortal source of the three realms after the immortal source is destroyed. Fist God and the others have long harbored hatred in their hearts, thinking that the immortal source is heretical. If we don't suppress these people, the billions of living beings of the three realms will die. Then we might as well just kill them. Kill. The celestial arch sighed again, even more bitter. Never mind. How many years has it been? I don't know many of my old friends from the past anymore. Suppress them. Teacher, can the future really solve this problem? I don't know. Teacher, Dong Huang was shocked. You don't know. I can't predict the future either. But the seed is still here, and the seed bestows the three realms with power. Even the immortal source is related to the seed. The only thing I can do is give the seed some time. The seed might be dormant, and I can buy some time to let the seed wake up. When it wakes up, the seed might repair everything. Dong Huang was speechless, and his face was bitter. After a long time, he said, Teacher, you want to bet on another chance? The celestial arch laughed heartily. You can say so. Otherwise, in the end, you, me, Qiong, Ji, everyone will die. If the immortal source is really destroyed, can the Chu Wu really live alone? The celestial arch shook his head. I'm afraid there's no hope. Besides, the immortal source universe will collapse, and the three realms will be in chaos. I'm afraid the Chu Wu won't be able to survive again. Everything originates from me and ends with me. The future will be left to the people of the future. Teacher, Dong Huang was agitated. Must it be like this? Qiong and the others have wild ambitions. They will definitely make a move. When Teacher preached in the past, these people were not aware of the flaws, but they still chose to step on this path. Now that the three realms is in trouble, how can Teacher bear it alone? On the path of cultivation, every step is a mistake. The celestial arch chuckled. And my mistake is that my ambition is too great, and I tried to surpass the limits of the three realms. In the end, I left behind a great disaster for the three realms. Let's not talk about this. Since the immortal source has been forged, let's continue. Teacher, Dong Huang's expression was a bit conflicted. After a long time, he said in a low voice, What if someone can help, Teacher? Fill this hole. The celestial arch was silent. You mean, it's difficult for one person, but it's not difficult for many. Dong Huang said in a low voice, Emperors are trapped inside. The stronger the Tao, the more trapped you are. So, Teacher feels that you can only fill it yourself, in case someone in the immortal source expands the hole again. But those who are not emperors, there are still a few. No, the celestial Thearcha's voice was low. The few of them, although they are not the same batch of people as you, they are also my disciples. If you are trapped, there is still a chance to escape. If they are trapped, I'm afraid this life will be goodbye forever. Teacher, the difficulties of the three realms are not Teacher's fault alone. Dong Huang's voice was sorrowful. Since they are Teacher's disciples, at this time, they should stand up and help Teacher. Sai, forget it. If Teacher does not allow it, let me do it for you. Don't act recklessly. The celestial arch scolded. Let's not talk about others. Jean is still your disciple. How can you do this? Teacher, there is no other way. Don't mess around. Go back. The three realms will be destroyed for a period of time. You wait for the opportunity, the seed will appear again. It will definitely, at that time, it will be the time to completely solve the immortal source. At that time, can Teacher still return? Maybe. Fang Ping's head was splitting. Hearing this, he could not hear the rest of the words. Fang Ping's mentality was greatly pushed out. Very soon, Fang Ping's eyes were in a trance. When he looked around again, he was already out. However, at this moment, Fang Ping's face was gloomy. The conversation between Dong Huang and the celestial arch. Celestial arch, Dong Huang, immortal source, supreme emperor, There were many things involved. Thinking of some previous guesses and some clues, he vaguely knew something. Dong Huang. Fang Ping's eyes were cold. The immortal source plan was proposed by the celestial arch, most likely to fix some problems in the immortal source. And the celestial thearch's plan was to fix this flaw himself. At this moment, Fang Ping thought of the incomparably huge figure he saw in the world at the doorway that day. Was it the celestial arch? The celestial arch was not suppressed, but he suppressed everything himself. According to the celestial arch, he wanted to fix this hole himself. However, Dong Huang did not seem to want to let the celestial arch fix it, instead suggesting that the Supreme Emperor do it. After the immortal source plan succeeded, Heavenly Emperor Zhan suddenly pointed an arrow at the emperors. Is it to save himself, or is it for something else? Was Heavenly Emperor Zhan deceived by Dong Huang, or was it something else? Could it be that Dong Huang instigated Heavenly Emperor Zhan, causing Heavenly Emperor Zhan to explode, eventually leading to the war between the 9 emperors and 4 emperors and Heavenly Emperor Zhan, and the others were killed, becoming sacrifices to fill the hole? Why is the celestial arch still there? Or is there something that I don't know? Fang Ping's expression became gloomier. Dong Huang was a formidable enemy, a ruthless person. Although Fang Ping was not from the same era as the 3 emperors, the 3 emperors were reincarnations, his friends, his brothers. Now that the 3 emperors were being plotted against, he was also a little unhappy, especially Heavenly Emperor Zhan. He was Dong Huang's disciple. Dong Huang actually wanted the 3 emperors to fix the hole. According to the celestial arch, it would be better if the emperors did it, but the 3 emperors would probably die. Dong Huang. Fang Ping took a deep breath. The 3 realms matters were getting more and more complicated. The immortal source plan had started a series of conspiracies. They plotted against each other. If the 3 emperors fixed the hole, why was the celestial arch still in the world behind the door? That meant that the 3 emperors did not fix it, or did not complete it. In the end, the celestial arch still followed his own ideas and went to fix the hole. Or, in the end, the 9 emperors forcefully suppressed the celestial arch and made him fix the hole. Fang Ping was still thinking about this in his heart when some people walked out of the murals one after another. What everyone saw might not be the same. Some frowned, some were solemn, and some were at a loss. What everyone saw was different. The God Creation Envoy looked at Fang Ping and said telepathically, "What did you see? You'll know when you see it for yourself." Fang Ping did not know what to say either. It was better to let the God Creation Envoy see it for himself. The God Creation Envoy did not say much and quickly probed with mentality. Fang Ping protected him. If you go in and look at this place, your physical body will be in danger. If your mentality is all in it, it will be easy for others to plot against you. Fang Ping waited while looking at the others. At this moment, the powerhouses from all sides were the same. Some were protecting, while others were watching. As for the lone wanderers, they simply did not look. Feng did not look. He was afraid that if he got caught up in it and was killed by someone, then he would die unjustly. At this time, King Kuan, who had just walked out of the murals, began to protect King Qian and the others. Seeing Fang Ping looking around, he turned his head and said telepathically, "What did you see?" "What about you?" Fang Ping asked. King Kuan did not care and said slowly, "It has something to do with my father." "Tell me about it." "Exchange." "Whatever. We'll see it later anyway." Fang Ping did not care too much. Everyone would definitely go and see it later. King Kuan nodded slightly and said telepathically, "The scene of my father and the Celestial Emperor meeting. The Celestial Emperor told my father to forge the immortal source, absorb the energy of the 3 realms, build the 3 gates, and suppress the spread of the origin. There are hidden dangers in the origin. Only by suppressing it can the hidden dangers be reduced. Fong Ping frowned and asked, That's it? That's it. That's simple. King Kuan was dissatisfied. You can see it too. If you don't believe me, come and see for yourself. It was that simple. Fong Ping frowned again. After a while, he said, Your father is really unlikable. This is the scene of the Celestial Emperor meeting with Dong Huang. He said that there was a trap in the immortal source, and that there was a big problem. People might die, but I don't think he said that the emperor would die. In the end, your father died. It's fine if he died. When the Celestial Emperor saw your father, didn't he say a few words? King Kuan's expression changed slightly. He was a little gloomy. He said telepathically, Really? Nonsense. Fong Ping looked at him sympathetically. Then he was shocked. Damn, the Celestial Emperor might not be a good person. He seemed to have said a lot more to Dong Huang than Earthly Emperor. Earthly Emperor did not seem to know much about it. Was he trying to trap the Earthly Emperor to death? Could it be that the Celestial Emperor did not want to die and was still trying to trap the Emperor to replace him? According to Dong Huang, the 9 Emperors' nirvana might be able to delay the loophole in the origin. Fong Ping frowned. In the 3 realms, it was really impossible to distinguish who was good and who was bad. The Celestial Emperor also had his own arrangements. There were some things that he did not make very clear. Fong Ping was thinking. At this time, the God Creation Envoy's eyes moved slightly, and he quickly woke up. No matter how many things happened inside, it was only a moment outside. When the God Creation Envoy came out, he sighed and said telepathically, I didn't expect this. These bastards actually tampered with the immortal source that I created. I was wondering why the immortal source was different from before. It turned out that these bastards had changed a lot. Fong Ping was slightly taken aback. The God Creation Envoy did not care and continued. 2F** King Blackhearted was unquestionable Jian in despair. Because of this kid, he still lacks a bit of Dao heart. Fong Ping was stunned again. What did you say? Shouldn't you be lamenting the black-hearted of Dong Huang and the Celestial Emperor? Why did you only talk about your immortal source? Senior, what did you see? The God Creation Envoy looked at him in surprise. After thinking for a while, he said, Transforming the immortal source. F***CK, a bunch of bastards. They transformed my immortal source into something that was neither fish nor fowl. A few of them actually became ruthless and made up for some things in the immortal source, the broken path. In the immortal source, I say, the God Creation Envoy said, angrily, Kid, we're in big trouble. F***CK, the immortal source seemed to be able to control the myriad Tao. No wonder these emperors did not panic at all. Those guys actually modified the immortal source to connect to the myriad Tao. Even if we become emperors, we will still be under their control. Damn it. If this goes on, we won't be able to get rid of everything. Furthermore, it seems to have other uses. I seriously suspect that a portion of the great Tao's power has been devoured. It's in the immortal source or somewhere else. Fong Ping was stunned. He was really stunned. The God Creation Envoy was different from what he saw. Let's not talk about it. If it was different, then it was different. What the God Creation Envoy meant was that everyone's great Tao was actually under the control of the Emperor. Stripping away a portion of the great Tao's power, the power was being transmitted teleportation. Celestial Emperor. Fong Ping was in a daze. What was going on? Was the Celestial Emperor absorbing the power of the 3 realms to replenish himself? Or could it be that the power was used to suppress the loopholes in the source? He was not sure. If it was teleported to the Celestial Emperor, perhaps the Celestial Emperor would also borrow power to suppress the loopholes. Was the celestial emperor dead or alive? Fong Ping's expression became even more gloomy as he transmitted his voice. Is this what you're looking at? Yes. The Tao of the Three Realms is actually controlled by someone. That's right. The immortal source should have this effect. These guys have actually been teasing us all along. The God creation envoy gritted his teeth and sneered. Transcendence, Tao validation, Emperor ascension. Kid, they're all teasing you. I suspect that when we become emperors, it will be the time of death. Maybe when we become emperors, we will be killed or used in other places. Fill in the loopholes. Fong Ping said nonchalantly. He seemed to have understood now. Previously, he thought that the 9 emperors wanted to find someone to become an emperor to replace them. Now, maybe it was even more ruthless. They did not expect others to replace them at all. They were more calculative and black-hearted. Let someone become an emperor, and then maybe they would be directly stuffed into the world behind the door to fill in the hole. Fong Ping thought more and suddenly laughed in a low voice. Interesting. The great Tao does not go through the real door, but through the immortal source. Are you guys still cultivating the Tao of the origin? What? It must be fake. Fong Ping said coldly. The Three Realms has been cultivating for so many years. Could it be that the great Tao of the origin is fake? It's easy to cause the immortal source's loopholes to expand. I'm afraid it won't be the case if we cultivate fake ones, right? Maybe it's half true and half false. A portion of the power did not disappear, but went to maintain their true Tao of the origin. A portion of it will be fed back to you guys so that you can prove your Tao and become emperors. And then the fake emperor is also an emperor, and it will not expand the loopholes of the origin. It's just right to fill in all of you. What? The God creation envoy seemed to have thought of something, and the look in his eyes changed drastically. What did he mean? The Three Realms. The Tao that he had cultivated for so many years was all fake. Fong Ping laughed and shook his head. Interesting. How interesting. Don't tell me that what I said is true. If it's true, then we're actually just a pile of sand. What do you mean? The God creation envoy actually thought of something, but at this moment he did not want to believe it. Fong Ping rubbed his chin and smiled. The house is broken, and the cold wind is howling outside. It's winter, it's too cold, and people will freeze to death. There were many cracks in the house, and there was also the biggest hole, the kind that could freeze people to death. There were many people in the house. Some of them stood up and used their bodies to block the small cracks in the wall. But that big hole, I can't fill it up. Fong Ping sighed. The one with the biggest body can still barely block it at this moment, so he went to block it. However, this hole might be expanding all the time. The one with the biggest body can't be blocked by one person. The others don't want to block the hole. It's too big, and people will die. Fong Ping smiled and said, So, these people you pay some money, I pay some money, buy some delicious food, and feed it to a group of ants on the ground. This ant can grow. The more it grows, the more it grows. It's equivalent to giving you a swelling agent. Very soon, a big ant grew up. It was so big. Therefore, these people reached out and grabbed, sticking the ants on the big hole to block the wind for them. It was not enough for an ant to grow up. They continued to feed it and continued to grow. However, just eating alone might not make them grow up. They had to let the ants grow up quickly. What should I do? Raise more, and then let the ants eat the ants. Maybe the effect will be better, and they will grow faster and bigger. The God creation envoy frowned and said in a low voice, You're saying we are that group of ants, the strong man who blocked the hole. Heavenly Emperor, the ones who fed us were the few emperors who blocked the crack in the wall. More or less. Fong Ping smiled and said, According to the clues I have now, that's the case. Interesting. Of course, there are still some things that can't be explained. There's no hurry. I think I'll know soon enough. In addition, there are a few guys who might not be in the house at first. They rushed into the house and did not go to block the crack. In the end, they were killed by the other people who blocked the crack. Their flesh and blood were stuck to the wall. Let's see if we can make up for it first. Extreme Tao, more or less. The God creation envoy's face became gloomier. So, the next one whose flesh and blood are stuck to the big hole might be us? You're so smart. You might be right. The God creation envoy took a deep breath. This is a temporary solution. Haven't they thought about this problem? I thought about it. Fang Ping smiled and said, maybe there are other plans. For example, me? Fang Ping smiled and said, maybe Ai Tsang Mao or Tengu is the solution to the root of the problem? Or what if the seed appeared? They might be thinking about something else, or they might be thinking about transcending themselves. Other people's lives and deaths have nothing to do with me. The God creation envoy stopped talking. Silence. Chess piece. This was no longer a chess piece, but a piece of meat on the chopping board. If he wanted to chop the meat, he could chop the meat. You could not resist. A chess piece could also overturn the chessboard. The meat on the chopping board might not have that chance. Unquestionable sword. Is this why he is in despair? The God creation envoy murmured. Because he could not escape, he could not get rid of everything, so he was in despair. The stronger the cultivation, the easier it was to be caught and used to fill the hole. Therefore, he gave up on the strength that was close to breaking 8 and chose to recultivate. He wanted to get rid of control. Could the Emperor Tao get rid of control? The God creation envoy did not know. Maybe Unquestionable Sword felt that it was possible, so he gave up on his own path and walked an uncertain path again. He could break 8. If he did not reincarnate, he might be a powerhouse who could break 2 gates now. But he gave up because he felt that even if he broke 9, he still could not get rid of everything. At this moment, Fang Ping and the God creation envoy fell into silence. To Fang Ping, this piece of news was fine. He was not sure if he had been controlled by the immortal source. However, to the God crafting envoy, even after countless years of hard work, he was still unable to escape the fate of being a chess piece. Breaking through 8, breaking through 9, even if one really became an emperor, death would still be the only outcome. Was there still hope for the people of the 3 realms? The martial emperors had planned for tens of thousands of years, hoping that these people could fill this hole. The God creation envoy laughed at himself and muttered, "Immortal origin. I forged it. They can do it even without you. No, without me. They might not be able to forge it." The God creation envoy chuckled and shook his head. Immortal origin. There are a lot of things that need to be grasped. The fighting strength of a king might be much stronger than mine, but they don't have the ability to create something like immortal origin. The God creation envoy laughed again. I remember now. Maybe I asked for it. I remember that when I was forging the celestial origin source, the spirit emperor, who never paid any attention to me, seemed to have said something. What? Walk the beginner's martial Tao properly. The origin's Tao may not be that beneficial. The God creation envoy laughed. That's it. This is. Are you hinting to me not to walk the origin path? What a pity at that time. This old man had already lost his mind. I thought that since the origin is so strong, I still have to change it. Maybe this is the commission. It's a pity that this old man didn't understand the commission to create the immortal origin back then. The God creation envoy mocked himself even more. Do I deserve this? P.S. There are only 2 updates today. This kind of revelation is the hardest to write. It's so troublesome. It's not as good as talking. Chapter 1358. After cultivating for countless years, in the end, he took the initiative to enter the trap. It was no wonder that the God creation envoy was mocking himself. Fang Ping, on the other hand, thought differently. He smiled faintly and said, "Even if you don't cultivate the origin path, how good would beginner martial arts be?" Were the days of beginners easy? Not good. When the God creation envoy heard this, it was indeed so. He sighed and said, "That's true. If you don't enter the origin Tao, then you will be rejected or even killed." Why were the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors so cruel to Chu Wu? It was all because the myriad Tao's battle back then was too ruthless. However, the people from the path of origin were used by the 9 emperors to fill in the gaps. If the 9 emperors did not suppress the beginners, the people from the path of origin would probably be in deep trouble. That was why the group of people suppressed in the heavenly tomb existed. The forging God envoy thought for a moment and said, "Tell me, since you're worried about Chu Wu, why didn't you kill him?" It won't be that easy. Back then, it was Fang Ping who asked the forging God envoy questions, but now it was the forging God envoy who did not understand. Fang Ping said mildly, "First of all, Celestial Emperor, and these people are all beginner martial artists. They might not be able to kill beginner martial artists. Secondly, it's not like there are no beginners. We do have some powerful ones. The Yang God and the Emperor of Heaven Reverse are at the beginning of the martial arts realm. Third, the elementary martial cultivator is an external threat. If they really destroyed the elementary martial cultivator, the origin would have had internal strife a long time ago. Once the war started, there would be countless deaths and injuries. Can the origin really maintain its current situation? Perhaps in the end, only one will be left. Chu Wu's existence made King Kuan and the others wary. These people were also suppressing Chu Wu, which was why the heavenly king stage powerhouses did not fight much, as they were afraid that Chu Wu would be able to take advantage of them. Why were people like King Kuan still alive? Why was there not much difference between the number of beginner martial artists and the number of origin martial artists who survived? Balance. Balance the power of both sides. Both sides would be wary of each other, but they wouldn't fight to the death to prevent both sides from suffering heavy casualties. Suppressing a group of people and releasing a group of people was also one of the 9 emperors' methods of balance. Now, Fang Ping could see it. The God creation envoy nodded slightly, muttered to himself for a moment, then said, "Continue watching." There were many secrets in this place. He could explore more. Fang Ping waved his hand. "I'm not watching anymore." These are all Celestial Thearka's memories. We don't even know if they are real or fake. Who knows if they are misleading us? The Celestial Emperor isn't a good person either. His memories might not be real. Some of them don't match up. For example, what he said to the earthly sovereign and what he said to the Dongwang sovereign were actually not the same. Fang Ping suspected that the Celestial Emperor was not dead. The one suppressed behind the door might really be the Celestial Emperor, but it might not necessarily be the dead Celestial Emperor. The immortal origin might be supplying power to the Celestial Arch. Among the 9 emperors, there must be someone working for the Celestial Emperor. Of course, there were definitely enemies of the Sky Emperor who wanted to kill the Sky Emperor. The Great War back then might not have completely gone according to the Celestial Emperor's plans. Otherwise, this wouldn't have happened. Dong Huang said that he would let the 3 emperors patch up the hole, but in the end, Celestial Darch still lost his life. Previously, human sovereigns said that he did it to suppress Celestial Darch, and it might not be a lie. The more he thought about it, the colder he smirked. The 9 emperors were not of one mind. The Spirit Emperor said that there were traitors among the emperors. He was probably talking about the God Emperor and the others. The Spirit Emperor was most likely on the Celestial Emperor's side. The Celestial Emperor might have had the intention to destroy the 9 emperors and 4 emperors and use them to fill the hole. In the end, his true intentions might have been exposed, or even everyone would beat him at his own game and take advantage of the situation to trap the Celestial Emperor. Thinking of this, Fang Ping smirked again. Every man for himself will be destroyed by heaven and earth. At their level of cultivation, who would really want to die? Who would really be willing to become a puppet? They were not willing. They were not willing. There were many inside stories about the battle back then. However, this place definitely did not have the details of the battle back then. Fang Ping was clear about this. The time this place appeared was earlier than the time of the battle. About 10,000 years ago, when the immortal origin appeared, this place only appeared. Therefore, there was no hope of tracing the truth of the battle back then. As expected, the others also came back to their senses at this moment. Some were shocked, some frowned, but they were still calm. Of course, there might be people who saw the same scene as the God creation envoy. At this moment, their faces were pale. At this moment, King Qian, who had just come back to his senses, suddenly laughed softly, laughing a little self-deprecatingly, looking at the Tao tree, and said coldly, "You still want to become an emperor?" He might have seen something. The Tao tree put his hands behind his back and said indifferently, "Everyone, if I tell you that what you see here might not be true, what would you think? I've seen this place many times, actually. It's just one of many possibilities. It's not fixed. Whatever you think in your heart, you'll see. After seeing more, you'll understand." "What do you mean?" King Qian frowned. What he saw was similar to the God creation envoy. Since that was the case, if the Tao tree still wanted to become stronger, wasn't it courting death? The Tao tree said indifferently, "What you see and what I see may not be the same. What I see is that only when you become an emperor can you get rid of everything and forge your true self. If you don't go to the source, the Tao is an empty Tao, and your cultivation will be in vain. Once the immortal origin is broken, the great Tao will collapse, and you will be at the mercy of others. Transcendence. Entering the source is the opportunity to forge the truth Tao. Everyone can understand my thoughts." As soon as these words came out, everyone frowned slightly. Some did not see it and did not quite understand. Some saw it, but they frowned. The God creation envoy said in a low voice, "Entering the source can forge the truth Tao." "Yes," the Tao tree said indifferently, "what we cultivate is not fake. It's just that there are some restrictions. Only by transcending and proving the Tao can there be hope of success. Only then can there be hope of truly walking out of the shackles. Cultivating is also death. Not cultivating is also death. If you cultivate, you might even have the strength to transcend. Everyone, what do you choose?" As soon as these words came out, Fang Ping looked at him more highly. "That's right. If you don't cultivate, you will be imprisoned for the rest of your life, and you won't even have the chance to struggle. If you cultivate, you will become stronger. If you really become an emperor, it might not be the end of your life. There might be another way. At that time, even if the 9 emperors really attacked him, he might have the power to resist." This was actually similar to Fang Ping's thoughts. If he did not fight, then he would silently wait for death. If he fought, there might still be a chance. The Tao tree had been here for so long, how could he not see anything? He saw it, but he still wanted to become an emperor, wanted to transcend, wanted to leave the immortal source, plus his teacher, the divine emperor, might help him secretly. In this way, the Tao tree also had some confidence. The God creation envoy, and the others looked at each other. Some did not see it and continued to frown. Those who saw it all had a thoughtful expression on their faces. They had lived for too many years. although it was difficult to accept some things for a while. After living for so long, they had some self-control. As they were talking, Fang Ping smiled and said, "I'm a little curious. Why did the Celestial Emperor leave these memories here? Also, this place should have appeared before the Heavenly Realm Great War. Is this the Celestial Emperor's backup, or was it formed accidentally? The Celestial Emperor left these memories here. It seemed a little inexplicable." The Tao Tree said indifferently, "Who knows, to show the Celestial Emperor's majesty, greatness, or to let us share a common enemy and know the Nine Emperor's dirty tricks." At this moment, the Tao Tree did not lose his composure like before. It seemed very calm. The Tao Tree saw Fang Ping looking at him and still said indifferently, "I've seen some of the memory fragments. What the Celestial Emperor told everyone was to use oneself to achieve Tao unification. And the Nine Emperors all have their own plans. In the end, there is today's immortal source." The Tao Tree sneered and said, "The Celestial Emperor really has good intentions." His teacher, the Divine Emperor, did not have a very good relationship with the Celestial Emperor. Back then, the Divine Emperor was also one of the leaders of the beginner martial artists. In the memories left behind by the Celestial Emperor, everything revealed pushed the mastermind behind the scenes, which might be the Divine Emperor and the others. This group of people was unwilling to become puppets, unwilling to be restricted. So, the Divine Emperor and the others secretly modified the immortal source, killed the three emperors, and framed the Celestial Emperor. In these memories, the Celestial Emperor was compassionate. He was saving the common people. And the Nine Emperors, some of them killed the powerhouses of the three realms for their own selfish interests. The Tao Tree felt that he had to believe it, but he could not believe it completely. How to judge depended on them. If the Celestial Emperor was really so kind, how could the Nine Emperors prove their Tao back then happen? Knowing that the origin had appeared, he still spread the origin in the three realms. From this, it could be seen that the Celestial Emperor was not really so selfless. He might have been thinking of finding a substitute in the beginning. Fang Ping nodded slightly. The Tao Tree was still considered neutral. Some things could not be trusted completely. He was also too lazy to argue about this, smiled, and said, "I'm just curious about one thing, cultivating the Emperor Tao. Can it really be transcended?" The Tao Tree looked at him, was silent for a while, and said slowly, "Maybe the real human sovereign Tao was something that no one had ever cultivated before. But there were emperors in the past who studied it and later made some deductions." The Tao Tree looked at everyone and said slowly, "The unification of the three realms is the true Emperor Tao. Once one cultivated the true human sovereign Tao, they might be able to completely transcend and even surpass the Tao of Source. Because the Emperor Tao controls life and death, the origin Tao must also be governed by it." Fang Ping thought of old Zhang's borrowing power from the human race's origin Tao. It might really be so. The Tao Tree suddenly smiled sarcastically. "Everyone here, do you really not know? Everyone has the descendants and disciples of emperors. How can you really not know? If you really did not know, would the three realms still erupt in chaos? And someone wants to unify the three realms?" As soon as the words came out, Fang Ping's eyes moved, looking at Hong Yu and the others instantly. Previously, these people had always wanted to unify the three realms, and Fang Ping was actually also guessing their motives. Later, he thought that it was probably necessary to become an emperor. But now, listening to the Tao Tree, what did it mean? Hong Kuan looked at the Tao Tree coldly and said lightly, "The Emperor Tao is only a legend." "Legend?" The Tao Tree laughed. "Not necessarily. Actually, in the past, the Nine Emperors all had such an idea. They felt that it might be because the heavenly court did not have a single person's power, and there was no one who truly controlled the three realms, so they could not cultivate the true Emperor Tao. The Beast Emperor cultivated a small part of the Beast Emperor Tao, but in the end, it was still restricted by the other emperors. If the 9 emperors and 4 emperors all disappeared, there might be a chance that a powerhouse who truly walked out of the Emperor Tao will appear. The true Emperor Tao, not just controlling the human race alone, but also the entire 3 realms. This was too difficult. Fang Ping looked at the few of them suspiciously. Hong Yu, Hong Kuan, Demon Emperor, these guys might really know some things. For example, the matter of the immortal source. For example, the matter of the Emperor Tao might transcend. These guys, one more sinister than the other, all had ill intentions. The Tao tree also saw that these people were guarding against him. At this moment, he did not mind throwing out some things to make everyone wary of each other. The Tao tree also stopped there and said with a smile, "No matter what, being able to become stronger is what everyone wants to see, isn't it?" At this point, even if you stop cultivating at this moment, do you think you have any other way to go? If we don't continue to become stronger, that will be the real danger. Becoming stronger with strength is the guarantee that we can transcend everything. The Tao tree was also quite good at talking. As soon as these words came out, even if there were thousands of thoughts in everyone's mind, they felt that there was only one way to go. At this point, there was no way out for everyone to speak of. The God creation envoy exhaled, suppressed some of the thoughts in his heart, and said with a faint smile, "Stop talking nonsense. There is actually nothing to see in this place. Knowing more may not be a good thing, but it will shake our determination. How can the gate of heaven be broken? What good can it do to break it? Shake their determination." As soon as he said this, Fang Ping seemed to have caught on to something. Could it be that the celestial emperor left these memories here to make everyone stop cultivating and give up on cultivation? Was the immortal origin helping the celestial emperor or locking the celestial emperor? There are a few emperors guarding the immortal origin, but they don't let the spirit emperor approach. The spirit emperor's attack that day was not from the immortal origin, but from another place in the 9th heaven. In that case, the immortal origin is not guarded by the spirit emperor. But according to my deduction, the spirit emperor is actually the one who wants to save the celestial emperor the most. In that case, the immortal origin, maybe it's not to save the celestial emperor, but to trap him. The more powerhouses there are, the more dangerous it is for the celestial emperor. Fang Ping thought one after another. Then what is the use of Wang Ruobing and the others? The use of Wang Ruobing and the others seems to be to cut off some of the energy supply of the immortal origin. That is the final gathering place of the false Tao. Fang Ping thought of Wang Ruobing, and his eyes moved slightly. Could it be that these people might be the method to break the immortal origin? Or someone wants to cut off the harvest of the immortal origin. Fang Ping's head hurt. These were 2 completely different possibilities. One could be for the celestial emperor. The other could be for his own transcendence. Things were getting more and more complicated. Whether Wang Ruobing was a trap set up by the divine emperor was not certain. Dragonborn said that back when he went to look for the emperors for help, he only saw 2 emperors, Emperor East and the Spirit Emperor. These 2 might be on the Celestial Emperor's side, and the Divine Emperor and the Celestial Emperor might not be on the same side. Looking for Dragonborn might be because the other party knew that Dragonborn would only look for these 2 for help, and the Divine Emperor never appeared. Was Wang Ruobing arranged by the Divine Emperor or by the Celestial Emperor? At this moment, Fang Ping thought more. Was it dark under the light? The Celestial Emperor deliberately placed his chess piece on Dragonborn. The Divine Emperor might have known that the Celestial Emperor had a backup plan, but he did not find it because he did not think that the Celestial Emperor would place a backup plan on his own side. It might not be impossible. Dragonborn would not publicize it, or else the three realms would know that Wang Ruobing was not his daughter. The three realms all thought that Wang Ruobing was his daughter. The first few descendants of the Year of the Dragon had many problems because they were created by blood essence, and they all died early. Wang Ruobing had been sick since she was young. Even if others knew about it, they would think that it was the same problem as before. That was because the Dragonborn had always shown signs of premature death. If that's the case, the Celestial Emperor must have made arrangements long ago. He left a way out for himself. The more he thought about it, the more headaches it gave him. Fang Ping suppressed these thoughts, not thinking about it for now. He needed to increase his strength first. Without strength, even if he knew the inside story, he could not change anything. Sky Gate, the fake heavenly realm behind the Sky Gate, including the Silkworm baby, were all his targets. Also, where was Heavenly Emperor Jean? Heavenly Emperor Jean had said that he could look for him after he had broken through the checkpoint. Where could he look for him? That fellow did not see him either. Unless he had to go to Heavenly Emperor's checkpoint again. However, he had already started breaking through the Sky Gate. How could he go there? The Tao Tree could connect to the 13 checkpoints. Did he need the Tao Tree to send him there now? Or would he have the chance to see Heavenly Emperor Jean again? As Fang Ping was thinking, the Tao Tree smiled faintly. Breaking through the Sky Gate naturally has its benefits. Unlimited vitality, unlimited power of the rule. They're all good stuff. After the Sky Gate, it's the projection of the seed of rebirth, the true projection. I think everyone should understand what it means. Fang Ping yawned. I'm sorry, I really don't understand. What does it mean? The Tao Tree frowned slightly and smiled quickly. Young friend, you're too young. It's normal that you don't know. The seed of rebirth exists. The source of the three realms' power is the seed of rebirth. However, no one has seen the true seed of rebirth. In the past, during the early martial era, the seed of rebirth had appeared, but it was only a projection. Underworld God, and the rest should understand. The Underworld God continued. That's right. In the past, when we cultivated to a certain point, we could no longer advance. At that time, the seed appeared. We pursued the power and guidance, arriving at a void in the Chu mainland. There, we received the seed's blessing. However, in the end, the seed disappeared into thin air. After that, we felt that the seed should be a projection of power, not a true seed. This kind of seed that can project a large amount of true power is called a true projection. Then there are false projections. Something like that. The Underworld God said slowly, some projections do not possess any power, or a very small portion of power. For example, the three realms origin Tao. When an origin realm martial artist breaks the gate, an extremely small portion of vitality will be projected. The Underworld God looked at the crowd, at the few breakers. You should know that the power projected from the spiritual gate and the vitality gate is actually not large. The vitality projected from the life gate is also very small. The reason why it can help you forge jade bones is mostly because you're already close to this point, so the power required is not too much. 300 small fish could help someone forge jade bones. In reality, the martial artist who broke the life gate might have already cultivated to the peak of half jade bones, or else he would not have been able to break the gate. Right now, the consumption of vitality was not too much. Of course, compared to cultivating on their own, it was still much faster. The Tao Tree laughed. That's right. This is an unreal projection. It's just that the 9 emperors and the Celestial Emperor used great means to guide a portion of the power and project it here. After all, the Void Gate and the True Gate did not exist back then. The forging of the three gates is only to help martial artists break through realms faster. If nothing goes wrong, in the world behind the gate, which is the origin, there will be a true projection of a seed. The power is drawn from there. Fang Ping thought for a while. Maybe there he met true blood. Where did true blood come from? It came from shattering the void. Could it be that the origin was actually in the body of a silkworm baby? The gate was to trap this silkworm baby. While Fang Ping was still thinking, the Tao tree continued, and everyone can feel the power of the projection here. It's terrifyingly abundant. The seed projection here is extremely powerful. The God creation envoy said faintly, "You don't have to say this. Everyone understands." Fang Ping complained, "I don't understand." These guys did not tell him a lot of things. He dug it out step by step, including the matter of the seed. Many people knew about it. Almost all the Broken Eight present knew about it, but Fang Ping did not know anything before. Even Li Hansong knew about it earlier than him. Skyarm told him. The God creation envoy glanced at him, somewhat speechless. What did he say? What strength did you have before? You improved too fast. You were not even a heavenly king before. Why would I tell you? All right, before everyone could recover, you had already broken through peak 7. You would know everything very soon. What else could you say? It's not that I didn't tell you. It's that you didn't give everyone time to tell you. Okay? The Tao tree could not be bothered with the two of them, continuing, breaking through the sky gate. All these years, I've also researched some ways. The sky gate, although it's called a gate, it's actually a passageway. A passageway filled with the power of the rule, extremely terrifying. The Tao tree said in a low voice, "Even I can't break through alone. Otherwise, it's very likely that I'll be killed in the passageway." Everyone was shocked. So powerful? Li Zhu thought of something and asked, "Then we should gather the powerhouses. Why did we attract some weaklings? For example, these true gods present." The Tao tree smiled and said, "Sometimes strength is not the key. Although the strong have a higher chance of breaking through the heaven gate, the weak also have the use of the weak. Breaking through the gate, everyone in front has seen it. It doesn't mean that the stronger you are, the easier it is to break through the gate. And the previous gate break also has a lot to do with this gate. Every time you break through a gate, it actually means that you have established some connection with that gate." The Tao tree said slowly, "And to break through the gate of heaven, we need everyone to work together. The power of the rule in the gate of heaven is very strong, so we have to consume some of it. And the 13th stage is connected to the passage behind the gate of heaven." What do you mean? Actually, everyone is consuming some of the power of the rule to break through the gate. At the same time, everyone has established some connection with that gate. And what we need to do is to continue to consume the power of the rule in the passageway. The Tao tree smiled and said, "And this, I need everyone's help. For example, the Beast Emperor level. If the person who breaks through the level joins forces with me, we can summon the Beast Emperor that guards the level, letting the Beast Emperor's projection enter the passageway and break through the door. The Beast Emperor can consume a large amount of power of the rule. So on and so forth. The other stages are also the same, so I need everyone to work together. When the power of the rule is exhausted, we can naturally enter the gate safely." Fang Ping said faintly, "Can't you avoid damage from the power of the rule? Do you still need our help?" The Tao tree smiled and said, "The power of the rule behind the passageway is a little different. If we can really break through the gate, I don't need to gather everyone here. If there are benefits, isn't it better for me to take it all for myself?" As soon as the words came out, everyone felt relieved. However, a cat gave it a disdainful look and muttered, "You're taking everything for yourself." You're not even human, pretending to be human, shameless. The heavenly hound said lazily, if a tree doesn't have a face, that means it doesn't have any skin. Everyone looked at the cat and dog, their heads aching. These two bastards, after a few thousand years, they were together again. Chapter 1359. He summoned the projections of the emperors of each level to help him clear the level. Everyone had their own thoughts. At this moment, Hong Kuan said in a low voice, these projections have their own consciousness. If you ask them to pass the trial, will they agree? Be careful. Not only will these projections not listen to you, but they will also make things difficult for you. This was not impossible. It wasn't like those projections didn't have intelligence. At least Hong Kuan was in a miserable state. You think I'm a robot, and I think you're an idiot. I'm just teasing you. He didn't want to be the one who dug a pit for himself. Do you still dare to believe those projections? The Tao tree said softly, a projection is also a manifestation of laws. In this place, one had to follow the rules of this place. What's more, we don't need the projections to listen to orders. We just need to summon them here and send them directly to the back of the passage. Whether they are willing or not, they have no choice but to help us wear down the nomological force. Fong Ping said mildly, I'll ask one more thing. If the power of the rule is worn down, how will the benefits be distributed? The Tao tree chuckled. It all depends on one's own ability. Fong Ping frowned. You're a powerhouse who has broken 9. How can we compete with you? Wasn't that obvious? Also, what are those true gods fighting for? The Tao tree said calmly, True God, heed my command. If they don't move recklessly, there will still be a lot of benefits waiting for them in the world behind the passageway. Could it be that these people want to snatch that thing? It was obvious to the others. You have to accept the law of the jungle. There are so many experts here. Do you have the right to not recognize them? Go and collect a bit of life force. This is the greatest benefit for you. Ordinary true gods might not be able to condense the life force of a small fish in 1,000 or 10,000 years. This is your opportunity. The Tao tree spoke very calmly, and the true gods did not have any objections. At this point, it was no longer up to them. If he could do it, he would do it. If he couldn't, he would die. With a group of top-notch powerhouses here, how could it be their turn to question them? Except for Fong Ping. Those who did not see through it could not chime in. Fong Ping did not care about the benefits of these true gods. He asked again, let me ask one more thing. That seed projection, can it be disassembled, or is it a whole? The Tao tree looked at him, slightly surprised, and said in a low voice, You've seen it before? Yes. The Tao tree wanted to kill. In the past, he was the emperor, but now someone actually asked him to guess. If there were not so many powerhouses here, he would have killed Fong Ping with a slap. Hong Yu could not be bothered to listen to their argument. All this while, everyone had been fighting for the benefits based on their own abilities. Fong Ping's question was actually pointless. What was there to distribute? If they were capable, they would snatch more. If they were not, they would resign themselves to fate. This was how the 3 realms was. The distribution plan that had been discussed beforehand had never been taken seriously. He did not want to waste time on this. Hong Yu coughed gently and interrupted their conversation. He said slowly, There are some things that we don't have to pretend to be ignorant about. Senior Brother Tao Tree, since you said that you're summoning the experts guarding the various passes, then some of them might not be projections. The moment these words came out, the Tao Tree's heart trembled slightly. You mean, Hong Yu looked around and said calmly, Now that everyone is here, I believe that everyone wants to take all the benefits for themselves. Even if they can't, there must be one less person competing for it. The more people there are, the harder it is to get what we want. There are many powerhouses here to begin with. There are also people spying on us in the dark, wanting to snatch everything. Once the mystic realm is destroyed, or even if their true bodies descend, when that time comes, will we still have a chance? If they work together from the inside and outside, we might end up empty-handed. After so many times, it's not the first or second time that we've failed. As he said that, he even glanced at Fong Ping. Fong Ping said exasperatedly, "Why are you looking at me?" Hong Yu said calmly, "Fong Ping, you've borrowed external forces a few times and snatched away all the benefits. Every time, we've suffered heavy losses. But in the end, we've gained nothing. Stop bullshitting." Fong Ping humphed. "Look at the Demon Emperor. The Demon Court has been established, the 9 Emperor seals, and the Beast Emperor staff are in our hands. Is there no benefit? If you insist on going against me, what benefits can I give you? Dream on. Right now, we're not the leaders. What are we doing here? Don't look at how you've broken 2 gates. It's nothing here. You think it's outside? Are you trying to screw me over? Idiot, you're either on the same side as the Emperor or the Tao Tree. You're trying to divert attention." As soon as he said that, Hong Kuan frowned. "What do you mean?" "Idiot!" Fong Ping scolded him directly. "Didn't I say that the Emperor is a clone? I think I said it." Hong Kuan cursed in his heart. "Did you say it? Did you really say it?" Fong Ping remembered that he did say it. It seemed like he said it at the earthly Emperor stage. However, Hong Kuan did not seem to have arrived at that time. Fong Ping directly diverted the trouble. "Everyone, be wary of Hong Yu. Li Zhu and Hong Yu might not be trustworthy. Anyway, let me remind you that the patrol's line cannot be trusted. It's up to you whether you believe it or not." The Tao Tree said faintly, "Fellow cultivator, you're overthinking it." Fong Ping said disapprovingly, "I'm not overthinking it. Think about it yourself. Here, so what if you broke an 8? It's not like the outside world where you're invincible when you've broken 8. It's hard to die even if you die. Here, maybe someone who's broken 9 will appear. Weaklings, think about it carefully. At the critical moment, should you watch the show or join forces? Those who watch the show until they die are not just 1 or 2. 9 out of 10 of those who were here to watch the show had their own confidence. Either join forces with the monarch or join forces with one of the broken 9 present. You might as well just point out the names." Everyone was speechless. Who else could be the broken 9 present other than the Tao Tree? Fong Ping ignored them. He looked at the underworld god, and the rest smiling. "Beginner seniors, don't think that you can just watch the show just because this is a dispute between the origins. To be honest, if the origins' strength declines, how can it not weaken the beginner martial artists? How many powerhouses from the origins will die this time? How many beginner martial artists might be sacrificed in the end? Do as you see fit." The underworld god and the rest were silent. There were some things that everyone knew in their hearts. Between the origins and beginner martial, only the origins could suppress the beginner martial, not the other way around. If many origins powerhouses died, it would not be good for them either. The Tao Tree looked at Fong Ping, his gaze deep. After a while, he said slowly, "Everyone, let's not waste any more time." As for the Emperor, the Tao Tree said softly, "What do you think?" The Emperor was a clone. On this point, Fong Ping might as well sell it out. Now that everyone knew, he had to bring it out and say it. Feng Xiao said, "Isn't it simple? Summon the Emperor here, and let him wear down the power of the rule. If he goes, that's the best. If he doesn't go, the real body was almost slaughtered that day. Why would he care about the clone?" There were too many powerhouses in this place. There were many more who had broken 8 compared to last time. There was also an existence who had broken 9. Why would they be afraid of the emperor's clone? Of course, everyone was also guarding against the Tao tree. This guy was the real troublesome one. No matter how strong the emperor's clone was, it would not be stronger than the Tao tree. This was for sure. Both had the combat strength of Breaking 9. A clone and a real body were different, unless the Tao tree was very useless. However, could a useless person break 9? While they were discussing excitedly, Fong Ping was suspicious. Was it that simple? Which one of them was not a smart person? Would they listen to you so easily? Moreover, this time, it was not just 1 or 2 clones. There were too many. Emperor, Emperor Spirit, Emperor East, Emperor Reverse. Perhaps there were still some he had not discovered, including the Emperor God. They were all fake. There were so many imposters. How could they be schemed against so easily? Wasn't everyone thinking too simply? As Fong Ping was thinking, he suddenly paused. The God creation envoy suddenly transmitted his voice. Kid, I have reached an agreement with Emperor West. At the critical moment, Emperor West will help us. Even if we summon him, we must put Emperor West last. Fong Ping almost cursed. What did it mean? Emperor West. Wasn't Emperor West a projection? How did they reach an agreement? Suddenly, Fong Ping was shocked. Am I very smart? Not necessarily. There were many smart people present. He discovered that the emperor was fake. He discovered that many people were fake. What about the others? A few of them had even reached an agreement with Emperor Spirit. Since they could, those emperors also seemed to want to find a few powerhouses to help. Did they not have a plan? Not good. Fong Ping suddenly cursed in his heart. Many of the people present might have joined forces with the emperors. No wonder no one seemed to be talking about an alliance. The Tao tree was here, but none of them secretly contacted the humans. Did they really want to form a temporary alliance? If it really came to that, there might not be a chance. Fong Ping was shocked and could not help but quickly transmitted his voice. You mean Emperor West is a clone? It seems so, not too sure. Fong Ping wanted to curse. What the hell? Weren't these the only ones who were clones? Why was Emperor West one too? What about the other emperors? Don't tell me that they were all clones, all pretending to be projections. What about Emperor Nan, Emperor Bei, and the Beast Emperor? The earthly emperor dissipated directly. The heaven exterminating emperor, and the others seemed to have their true bodies destroyed. They probably did not have any clones. If that was the case, they might all be pretending to be confused. Fong Ping was speechless. It couldn't be, right? This place had become a sieve, and they still said that no emperor had come in. The Tao tree also had something to rely on. This guy was waiting for the emperor god's real body to come directly. They did not expect to have a clone. One was more ruthless than the other. On the other hand, on the human side, although they had reached an agreement with Emperor Spirit, both sides were about to fall out. Was the so-called cooperation really considered cooperation? Fortunately, I still have Heavenly King on my side. Fong Ping comforted himself. Heavenly King should not be weak, right? At least he would not be weaker than those clones, right? This place was really getting more and more dangerous. The emperors were really not easy to deal with. The old man of the big fool, Celestial Pole, had actually sent a clone in. No, something's wrong. What I saw seemed to be a projection, but what the God creation envoy saw might be a clone. That means someone secretly hid a clone and brought it in. Fong Ping frowned. It was not impossible. Many people from Emperor West's side had come in this time. Celestial Pole, Sheng Hong, and Sheng Nan were all. These people were all alive. Maybe one of them had brought it in. The more he thought about it, the more Fong Ping's head hurt. Also, the heaven-breaking jade did not respond. Where was the passageway? Where was the passageway that connected the human world? Could it be that it was not here, behind the door? How did the unquestionable sword get through back then? Thinking of this, Fong Ping suddenly interrupted their discussion and asked, back then, the unquestionable sword went back without breaking the door. The Tao tree glanced at him and said slowly, he opened the heavenly gate and wanted to try, but it was too dangerous, so he left. This was the thinking of a normal person. He would not return home without even trying the heavenly gate. If that was the case, the unquestionable sword would be an idiot. Could it be inside the heavenly gate? Fong Ping was a little suspicious. Did the unquestionable sword open up a passageway behind the heavenly gate? Also, was that guy's strength that powerful? He could actually open up a passageway that connected the human world here. One had to know that Fong Ping did not seem to have this strength now. Of course, if he had discovered the weak point of the space, it was not impossible. Damn, I'm not strong enough. Fong Ping cursed in his heart. If he was strong enough, why did it have to be so troublesome? One punch to death, one punch to death. Do I need to scheme with you guys? There were too many powerhouses. This time, he might fail to take the risk. If I can't do it, then I'll save my life. If I can't do it, then I'll destroy the silkworm baby. I don't have it, so don't even think about taking it. Fong Ping was determined. If he destroyed the silkworm baby, he might be surrounded and killed. He was also getting more and more troubled. This time, someone might not let him go. Hong Yu and the others might not be idle. They might have also contacted the Emperor Avatar to help. If they could not get the treasure at the critical moment, they might kill Fong Ping. Fong Ping was thinking about something. Someone looked at him strangely. It was none other than the God-forging envoy. The God-forging envoy realized that Fong Ping was frowning and gritting his teeth. He could not help but send a voice transmission. You brat, what are you doing? Everything is exposed on the surface. Can't you be more reserved? I'm too lazy to pretend. Fong Ping snorted. He stared at the crowd and said in a muffled voice, all of you are cunning. Maybe you are discussing how to kill me later. Everyone heard it. He did not send a voice transmission. The few of them looked at him indifferently and did not explain anything. Killing you, Fong Ping, was it not normal? You are actually indignant. That is strange. The Tao tree did not want to say anything either. He said, everyone, shall we go to the heavenly gate now? At this moment, he was also a little impatient. He had been guarding here for too long. Today might be the day he would truly prove his Tao as an emperor. How could he not look forward to it? At this time, someone said faintly, let's be careful. The heavenly king suppression is not here yet. Everyone, be on your guard. As soon as this was said, no one said anything, but they were on guard. That old fellow did not come either. As for what the Tao tree said earlier about being trapped, no one took it seriously. The heavenly king's suppression was cunning. He had been in charge of the human world for 8,000 years, and no one had been able to find out his background. How could he be trapped so easily? Everyone walked forward along the bronze path in the main hall. The door that looked like it was not far away was actually quite far away. After walking for tens of thousands of meters, an incomparably huge door appeared in front of everyone. It was not bronze, nor was it metallic. It was a crystal door. There was no frame. It was just a door floating in midair. It was incomparably huge. The Tao tree said, this is the heavenly gate. Behind the heavenly gate is the place where the sea projection is. Of course, you have to walk through the passageway to reach it. The most dangerous place is the passageway. Have you walked through it? King Kuan asked. The Tao tree nodded. I have tried many times, but I can't hold on for too long. The furthest I went was less than 1,000 feet. King Kuan frowned and said, "How far is the passageway behind?" "I have never walked to the end, but I vaguely saw the end. It's probably 30,000 feet, 10,000 meters. It was a very long passageway, but the Tao tree had only walked a third of it." The Tao tree said again, "1,000 feet is my limit, but I also walked 1,000 feet back. In fact, the danger is slightly lower. If I can erase a portion of the power of laws, I should be able to walk through." Soon, the Tao tree said in a deep voice, "However, I have to remind everyone, there is only one chance. This time, we have summoned the sovereigns to erase the power of laws. This is the only chance. If we fail this time, the power of laws in the passageway will return to its original state within a month. Otherwise, after all these years of grinding, it should be worn through. But the power of laws will constantly recover, while everyone has been erased and has yet to fully recover. Let's try once and try to break through. If we miss this chance, I won't be able to last beyond 20,000 feet. You guys are in even more danger. There is damage of breaking 9? Yes." The Tao tree exhaled softly and said, "Not only that, I don't know what other dangers there are in the road ahead. Maybe we need to work together to break through the checkpoint, not walk alone. Whoever wants to break through alone, unless you are a true sovereign. Otherwise, there will be great danger." Very dangerous. As soon as these words came out, the few heavenly kings did not look too good. Even those who broke 9 did not dare to barge in. The danger of this place was beyond imagination. As they were discussing, Luan, Sherpa, and the others also came over. The God creation envoy's mentality sealed off the surroundings. Luan rolled his eyes and said, "Fong Ping, do you have the confidence to kill the few of us? We don't need to share it with others." The God creation envoy said, "Unhappily, do you know what's inside?" "Nonsense, I don't know what's wrong." Luan did not think much of it. If even those who broke 9 want it, then it must be something good. The God creation envoy was speechless and quickly said, "I'm afraid what the Tao tree wants is the endless vitality and the power of true blood that may exist. The others are about the same. At our realm, there are very few things that can help us. The projection of the seed is definitely a treasure of the 3 realms. And what the sovereign wants is probably the place where the true blood and the true seed are. This time, it is not only the Tao tree that is fighting with us for this item. There is also the sovereign. I'm afraid we can't eat it." He looked at Fong Ping and advised, "Fong Ping, you can seize a portion of the vitality. Of course, for you and for me, the key is still true blood. After forging the jade bone, although the vitality is still useful, it is not very helpful to us at the moment. And true blood can help us be reborn once." That day, I asked the sovereign for the immortal source blood, also wanted to help myself be reborn and break through the vitality gate. However, the quality of the immortal source blood is far inferior to true blood. Luan bared his teeth and said, "Break through the vitality gate? Good stuff. My vitality is not weak. If I break through the vitality gate, I will have forged the jade bone. After I go out, won't I break through 2 gates in a day?" Luan was a little excited. There were so many good things here that he couldn't bear to leave. After going out, directly break through 2 gates. I'm afraid there won't be too much true blood. If you want to use true blood to break through the vitality gate, let's see how much true blood you can seize. The God creation envoy said, "Unhappily, do you think you are very strong? There are more than 1 or 2 people here who are stronger than you. What makes you so confident that you can seize enough true blood to help you break through the vitality gate?" TSK. Luan disagreed. "Fong Ping, what do you think we should do? You have a lot of evil ideas. Just divide the spoils after this. Let's do it. What are you afraid of? Luan was so excited that he wanted to do something big. After breaking through the 2 gates, only the mentality gate was left. As for Sherpa, his eyes were also shining. He almost broke through the mentality gate. If he could seize true blood this time and break through the 2nd gate, he might be able to quickly approach the peak of the 2nd gate. He was just 1 step away from stepping into the breakthrough realm. This place was really a treasure land. Who would not be tempted? These people were all envious. Fang Ping was not so optimistic. He sighed softly and said, "Don't think too much about the good things. Living is better than dying. Let me tell you, the breakthrough realm in this place, I'm afraid there are more than a handful of people." Fang Ping sighed and said, Maybe we can still be bystanders. If we want to seize the real benefits, it will be difficult." Sherpa said in a low voice. "So many powerhouses." "Yes." Luan licked his lips. "Didn't that woman, Spirit Emperor, agree to join forces with us? Do you think she can make use of it?" Everyone looked at each other. At this time, at the side, Tengu, who had been silent all this while, suddenly bared its teeth, the cold light of its teeth dazzling. "What are you discussing? In this place, there are 4 of us who have broken through 8. That old thing from the town will definitely come. That will be 5. No matter what, he is still a powerful force. What's wrong with sharing a piece of the pie with him? If they don't give it, then let's do them." Tengu bared its teeth. "There are a lot of good things in this arcane realm. It's not a waste to split 7 or 8 of them." As it spoke, the cat stepped on its head and said unhappily, "Big Dog, why are you so timid?" Tengu was puzzled. "Am I timid? There are a lot of people who have broken through 9 here. A few of us have broken 8. Logically speaking, we should get lost, but I didn't. I still want to share the pie with those who have broken 9. How am I timid? Am I being despised by a stupid cat?" The cat slapped its tail on Tengu's head, making a loud smacking sound. It said happily, "Take it all at once. Haven't we always been like this?" Tengu cursed in its heart. This cat was crazy. It depended on the situation. If it was so crazy, wouldn't it have been beaten to death long ago? There are so many powerhouses, and you still want to take it all at once. Are you crazy? Fang Ping ignored them. He looked at the sky gate in front of him and said lightly, "As long as the sky gate is not broken, some fellows may not show up. Once the sky gate is broken, I'm afraid they will appear. It's useless to say more now. I just want to tell everyone one thing." Everyone looked at him. Fang Ping smiled. "At the crucial moment, listen to me and help me stop the strong enemies. Don't worry. Even if I don't give you any benefits now, I will definitely give you enough after this." Tengu bared its teeth. "Why should I listen to you? Who do you think you are? Breaking 7, and you want to command me?" Fang Ping smiled. "Why? Based on the fact that I broke 7 in 3 years, based on the fact that I gave Luan and Sherpa enough vitality to hone their jade bones, based on the fact that I released you and Sherpa, based on the fact that there's still Heavenly King standing behind me. It's enough to deter me from breaking 9. Fang Ping said lightly, "Tengu, listen to me, then let's do it together. If you don't listen, do as you please. Go wherever you like." Humph. Tengu's huge eyes were cold as it stared at Fang Ping. When had Tengu been ordered around by anyone before? "Big Dog." The cat's claws pinched the dog's ears and advised, "Listen to the liar. Liars are very powerful." Humph. Tengu was still not convinced. At this time, the God Creation Envoy said with a toothache, "What do you want to do?" "I don't want anything." Fang Ping smiled. "Senior, you listen to my command too. Don't worry, I've discussed it with Heavenly King. Why would I trick you? Kid, you're not planning to do it all at once, are you?" The God creation envoy looked at him suspiciously and had to remind him, "Kid, it's really not that I'm a coward. I can't cover it anymore. Even old Devil Lee can't cover it. This is not the era of breaking 8 invincible. Choose an opportunity to move again." Fong Ping smiled. "I won't deliberately court death. There's a 100% chance of death. Of course, I won't do it. If there's a 30% chance, then it's worth it, isn't it? At our realm, is 30% not enough?" The God creation envoy's teeth hurt so much that his head was about to explode. "Kid, don't cause any trouble. Actually, this time, everyone had gained a lot. Here, take as much as you can. Don't tell me you're really planning to take it away. Don't worry, there's no hope. I won't do it." Fong Ping comforted him once again. Why was this old man so timid? Didn't he say that he wouldn't do it if there was no hope? Really, you don't believe me? Just as they were talking, the Tao tree opened his mouth and said, "If we're done talking, we can break the door. Everyone, are you ready?" Fong Ping and the others walked over, all of them extremely vigilant, breaking the door. It was probably the beginning of the chaos here. Chapter 1360. The Tao tree wasn't in a hurry to summon Sovereign. At that moment, the Tao tree's aura was turbulent. With a low growl, whip-like roots appeared in the void and quickly took root near the sky gate. "Open!" A low roar resounded in all directions. There was a loud boom. The gate of heaven had actually opened a crack. "Everyone, go in!" Everyone looked at each other in surprise. "Go in," the Tao tree quickly said. "There is an empty space behind the door that is not covered by any rules. You can only break through the door if you enter." Everyone was still worried. The doctrine tree snorted and suddenly looked at Qing Tong and the venerable sovereign of the Medicine God Island. Of course, the two of them were no longer at the same level. A heavenly king and a saint. This was someone from the Divine Emperor's bloodline. Sovereign Qing Tong, or Heavenly King Qing Tong, sighed inwardly. He had to take the lead. Heavenly King Yi, the Heavenly King of the Divine Emperor's bloodline, was dead. If he didn't show up, would the Tao tree not open the door and enter? Qing Tong did not say anything else. He leaped into the air and quickly flew to the door. There was a crack on the door. Just as Qing Tong was about to enter, Fong Ping frowned and said, "If it's opened, does that mean we won't be able to come out?" "That's not it." The Tao tree looked a little strained. "It can be opened again from the inside, but we have to go in. We can't open the portal every time. If this goes on, I won't be able to take it." When Qing Tong heard this, he didn't say anything else and stepped into the sky. At this moment, Fong Ping and the others witnessed a shocking scene. Through the door, they saw Qing Tong. Transparent. The Tao tree wasn't surprised, which was why he hadn't said much before. He smiled and said, "As you can see, he's fine. He's right next to the passageway." After saying that, he looked at Medicine God Venerable Emperor and shouted, "You go in too." The Medicine God Sovereign, the Arch, recognized the Tao tree, so how could he dare to hesitate? Without wasting any time, he soared into the air and quickly entered. The arrival of 2 experts from the Divine Emperor's bloodline dispelled some people's concerns. Fong Ping and the others did not leave. Fong Ping said, lazily, "The rest of you can go first. We'll accompany the tree in later." What if this was a trap and they were trapped in it? Everyone looked at each other, but 8-Breaker didn't say anything. The true gods all looked at each other. They were a bit sorrowful, but at this point, they had no choice but to advance. Behind them, the celestial pole was also depressed. "I was thinking of waiting for you guys to leave before I go in." "What are you doing?" Tianji was truly depressed. He wanted to cry, but no tears came out. The Tao tree didn't expect much from these people, but to summon the sovereign, he needed them. They had no choice but to go. True gods and sovereigns entered one after another. The sages also began to enter. Soon, it was the heavenly king's turn. Without spellate to oversee them, they had to go even if they didn't want to. The demon emperor's master, Gong Yuzi, Tianji, Sheng Hong, Lu Shan, and Yin Fei entered one after another. Soon, it was Moon Spirit's turn. After that, they stopped. The Tao tree growled, "Let's go in together." Once the door is closed, it's also a form of protection against ambushes from behind. The difficulty of opening the gate of heaven was not small. Fortunately, the Tao tree had broken through 9. Otherwise, if someone who had broken through 8 came, it would have taken a lot of effort to open it. Even if there were more people lying in ambush outside, it wouldn't be that easy. Everyone didn't delay any longer. In the next moment, a group of people flew up and flew toward the door. The Tao tree also no longer maintained the open state of the door. He soared into the air and quickly entered. Rumble! Just as everyone entered, a loud rumble sounded, and the gate of heaven closed again. Just as they entered, another person entered the temple. In the blink of an eye, a figure appeared outside the gate of heaven. Looking at the gate of heaven, figures appeared inside the gate. Those were the people who entered. The elites of the 3 realms are all here. After sighing, the figure chuckled and said, "I wonder if these guys will be lost after breaking this door." As soon as he said that, someone behind him said calmly, "Shun, I haven't seen you for many years, but you're still so naughty." Naughty? The heavenly King Jin put on a fake smile and turned to look at the person who came. He chuckled and said, "Gee, you're a few years older than me. Are you trying to show that your status is higher?" The heavenly King Jin sneered and said playfully, "You came quite quickly. Why didn't you wait for them to summon you?" Human Emperor. The person behind him was none other than Human Emperor. Human Emperor seemed to have forgotten that the heavenly King Jun teamed up with the others to kill his real body. He said calmly, "There's no need to summon me. Since Fong Ping knows my identity, why wouldn't he say it? He wants everyone to know that my clone is here." "You know him well." The heavenly King Jin chuckled and said, "If you didn't deliberately expose yourself, he might not know anything. Why, do you want to join forces?" "What about you?" Human Emperor asked. "Me?" The heavenly King Jin sighed and said, "I'm an old man who's about to die. My strength isn't that great. Although breaking 2 gates is not bad, it's nothing to you. What's the use of asking me?" "You were about to break 3 gates. This is the Voidless Gate. You didn't break 3 gates?" The heavenly King Jin felt wronged and said, "It's not that simple. My spiritual consciousness has always been mediocre. It was the same back then. Even after I switched to cultivating the origin, it was still the same. Sigh, that guy was so stingy. Otherwise, if he taught me the great Tao, maybe I would have broken 3 gates back then." Human Emperor looked at him with bright eyes. After a while, he said calmly, "Is this your real body or a clone?" "Nonsense." The heavenly King Jin rolled his eyes and said, "If it's not my real body, then what is it? Do you think everyone is like you, having powerful clones? What kind of strength do I have? Even if I break 9 gates, I can't forge a clone that can break 8 gates." As he said this, his aura erupted. Human Emperor's clone trembled slightly. So strong. At least the strength to break 2 gates. Human Emperor frowned slightly and stared at him for a while. He suddenly laughed and said, "Others don't have that ability and don't have such a powerful clone, but you might not." "You really overestimate me." "I'm not overestimating you." Human Emperor said calmly, "In the past, you broke your jade bones, shattered your golden body, crippled your spiritual consciousness, and almost died. After that, you switched to cultivating the origin and advanced by leaps and bounds. Everyone thought that you had completely stepped into the origin and that the beginner martial realm was a thing of the past. I'm curious, what about those jade bone fragments? The heavenly King Jun was speechless and said, I gave them to me to forge my jade bones. Is that so? Human Emperor laughed, lightly. Shun, I won't ask how much other people know about you, but I'm not completely clueless. 10,000 years ago, someone wanted to pry into the origin of immortals. It was a beginner martial expert. He stirred up the 8th heaven and almost broke through the 9th heaven. He was soon discovered and disappeared. The heavenly King Jun nodded. I heard that it was Fist God who wanted to destroy the origin of immortals. Is that so? Human Emperor said calmly. If you say so, then so be it. Anyway, Fist God doesn't get along with us and won't argue with us. In addition, all these years, someone has been prying into the 8th heaven. Not only did they pry into the origin of immortals, but they also searched the origin grounds of those awakened experts. You have always been under the surveillance of the inspector, who went to the 8th heaven. What does it have to do with me? The heavenly King Jun was speechless. Gee, don't try to make me the scapegoat. Are you angry that I did something to you last time and you want to frame me? Human Emperor laughed lightly. If you say it's not, then it's not. That beginner martial expert might be an anomaly that appeared out of nowhere. Who knows, maybe it's Dark and the others. Human Emperor realized that the heavenly King Jun hadn't changed much after so many years, but he was more shameless. He was about to say it out loud, but this guy still had an expression that said it wasn't him. What do you want to do? Human Emperor looked at him, his eyes burning. What do you want to do after waiting for so many years? The heavenly King Jun said gloomily, Why are you looking at me like that? I don't have such a hobby. Ha! Is this a beginner martial avatar or an origin avatar? I don't know what you're talking about. Human Emperor snorted. Back then, did you really shatter your jade bones and beginner martial avatar? Why do you have to be so direct? Uffed. The heavenly King Jun said disdainfully, I thought you were going to say something. What beginner martial avatar? Beginner martial avatar was destroyed long ago. Even if there is, I can't step into the origin. What are you thinking? Human Emperor took a deep look at him. You really didn't? Then maybe I'm wrong. However, although your avatar's strength has reached the second gate, I'm afraid it's hopeless if you want to take anything this time. I just came to take a look. Heavenly King Jun said indifferently, the seed might be in the human world. Let me see if there's a familiar smell. Don't say, the heavenly hound is here, let it smell the seed. Maybe it can find it. Human Emperor didn't want to say anything more to him. Heavenly King subduing was not sincere at all. He had always suspected that the heaven-suppressing Heavenly King's elementary martial body was not destroyed. Back then, he said that he had shattered his jade bones, destroyed his spiritual sense, and recultivated his essence. Indeed, almost everyone in the 3 realms believed him. This was because the subduing Heavenly King had truly stepped into the origin realm. But did Jun really give up on beginner martial arts? Not necessarily. As for why he could step into quintessence, didn't Do, Qiong, and the others also step into quintessence? He just had to force his way in. As long as a beginner was strong enough, they could tear apart their source and forcefully open a path. Why couldn't they? Back then, didn't the Celestial Arch also forcefully step into the origin realm from the elementary martial realm? Beginner martial body, origin body. The human emperor looked at the heavenly King Jun Wang again. His eyes were as deep as the ocean. Did he manage to cultivate both of his bodies to the limit of breaking 8? Or even stronger? If he really did, then the 2 bodies as one would probably exceed everyone's expectations. The heavenly King Jun Wang was a little annoyed by his stare. He said angrily, "Stop looking. If I really had that ability, I would have broken 9 in beginner martial directly. Would I need to switch to quintessence?" "Humph," the human emperor sneered. "Your ambition is no less than your master's." "What ambition? Don't you accuse me wrongly." The heavenly king, Zhen Wang's eyes were unfriendly. "Also, my master doesn't have ambition. He just wants to find a way out for beginner martial artists." The human emperor sneered. "Fong Ping, your master's pawn? Nonsense. Why deny it?" The human emperor said indifferently, "Your master once found a place where the seed projection was. After that, it disappeared without a trace. Since then, there have been some abnormalities in the 3 realms. Later, I found out that your master was actually secretly evolving the Tao. He wanted to create his own world and take the 3 realms as his foundation. His ambition was not just a little big. That time, the celestial arch secretly attacked and destroyed his inner world. The life that he created almost all died and perished. But Fong Ping, the last time I saw it, there were some imprints. Wasn't it your master secretly setting it up?" "Nonsense." The heavenly king Zhen Wang said impatiently, "If my master was that capable, he would have appeared long ago. Why would he be like this now, not knowing whether he's dead or alive, his whereabouts unknown? Fong Ping was born in Sun City, and you thought of my master. What are you thinking? There are many cities with Yang in the human world. Are they all places where my master is secretly lurking? I've been to that place many times. If I really found it, would I still be as afraid of you as I am now?" The heavenly king, Zhen Wang, snorted. "Don't think that you're the only smart one. Some guys almost overturned Sun City." The human emperor frowned. "Really? Definitely not." The heavenly king Zhen Wang said impatiently, "My master is so capable. Does he need to hide it? He has just broken 9, at most. Otherwise, how could he have failed in the battle of myriad Daos back then, and was defeated by the celestial arch in the end?" The human emperor looked at him indifferently. After a long time, he said, "The celestial arch, if the celestial arch really defeated your master, would your master's jade bones still exist?" "How would I know?" The 2 of them talked for a while. The heavenly king Zhen Wang was really impatient. He said in disdain, "Don't follow me. Your avatar feels stronger than me. Stay away from me, lest others misunderstand. If I can't kill you, I'll be unlucky if they try to kill me." After thinking about it, the heavenly king Zhen Wang directly left the main hall. As he walked, he scolded, "Crazy! Everyone else is hiding well in their own checkpoints. Why the F***CK did you have to follow me here? Did I kill your whole family? Why did you have to make things difficult for me?" This old man scolded him as he walked. He was a little annoyed. The human emperor was very indifferent. He was not angry. He said in a deep tone, "Origin and beginner martial have something in common. However, if they are combined rashly, there might be rejection or even self-destruction. None of my business." The human emperor was still indifferent. He said slowly, "In 10,000 years you have cultivated jade bones and the vitality Tao. You are not far from the Tao of spiritual consciousness. I'm afraid not even in 10,000 years. 8,000 years ago, you might have this strength now. How did you cultivate to this level in 2,000 years? You walk the path of origin. You advance 1,000 miles in a day. You are unimaginably fast. Don't wrongly accuse me. I'm not as fast as Fong Ping. No, I'm not as fast as that bastard Zhang Tao." The heavenly king, Zhen Wang, explained and continued running. "They are different from you," the human emperor said faintly. "You 2,000 years, is almost comparable to a battle. And you did not cultivate the beginner martial path that you are good at. As far as I know, in the past, someone stole something behind the Gate of Void. I'm afraid they are plotting something. The power of the Gate of Void projection is actually not as good as before. Someone stole the power of the projection. In the 3 realms, there should be 3 or 4 secondary seeds. Which one did you take? The seed of life or the vitality seed? The heavenly King Zhen Wang turned around and frowned at him. After a while, he said, "I don't understand what you are talking about. Gee, if you talk nonsense again, I will not let you off." The human emperor's tone became deeper. Forging jade bones. Geniuses are also forged with divine artifacts. Beginner jade bones are all forged with the power of the seeds in the past. The jade origin bone is difficult to forge. Even though Moon's spirit has been hiding in the dark for many years and started forging jade bones since more than 20,000 years ago, it is still difficult to succeed. Battle, destruction, and forging jade bones is also something that happened many years after reaching the extreme Tao. You, the heavenly King Zhen Wang, are stronger and more terrifying than them. In less than 2,000 years, you forged jade bones from nothing and reached the breaking 8 realm. The heavenly King Zhen Wang stopped and turned around. He stood at the entrance of the hall and looked at him. At this moment, he was no longer laughing and scolding. He said coldly, "Gee, if you have anything to say, just say it. From what you said, you have been paying attention to me for a long time. What do you want?" The human emperor looked at him and chuckled. "I don't want to do anything. Survival is also what I want." The human emperor sighed and said self-deprecatingly, 8,000 years ago, the earthly sovereign thought that he could rely on his own strength to change the world. But he was too conceited, so conceited that he thought he was invincible in the 3 realms. That time, he failed. That time, the 3 realms truly understood that there is always someone stronger than you. The human emperor sighed. "I only want to survive. I don't want to be like Brother Hong, an anomaly in the eyes of others, and eventually die. But others who can believe me." The human emperor looked at him. "Brother Zhen, why don't we work together? On the day of your Tao, I will be your Tao protector. When our bodies merge, I am afraid you are already prepared to transcend and break the Tao above the immortal source, right? But without anyone's help, do you dare to break it? If I don't help you, who will? No one will help you." The heavenly King Zhen Wang's eyes were cold. He said lightly, "You don't need to pretend to be deep in front of me. Everything is just your wild speculation. You have a bad habit. You like to guess randomly, like that little guy Fong Ping. You are not Fong Ping. As a sovereign, guessing wrong is not cute, nor will it make people feel that it is harmless. Gee, there are some things that you can't decide." The human emperor chuckled. "Why did you reject my good intentions? I have no ill intentions. Ridiculous." The heavenly King Zhen Wang straightened his back and said coldly, "Do you really think I know nothing? Back then, you secretly plotted to kill my brother. I am afraid that since then, you have guessed today and want to force me to take action. Sooner or later, this matter will be settled." The human emperor sighed. "Zhen's death was not my wish. That day, I was not the one who plotted against him. Do you think others do not want to? You and your teacher did not appear. The battle of the 3 realms engulfed the world. You and your teacher avoided the battle, and Zhen did not die. Who would believe you? Moreover, Zhen fought for Hong. How can you blame it on me? Although the earthly sovereign is hateful, he is already dead. You are the culprit." The heavenly king, Zhen Wang, sneered. "Whatever you think is true. You want to trick me into being your shield. Gee, you are thinking too much. If you have the time, you should think about whether this avatar can walk out alive today. No matter how strong you are, losing a 9 destruction avatar will hurt your vitality. I really want to see your expressions when you lose your composure." The human emperor laughed and said no more. The heavenly King Jin Wang also did not speak. He did not move, but the void shattered and disappeared in the blink of an eye. The human emperor did not care about him. He walked around the hall and stared at the murals for a while. He murmured, "Teacher, since you left this place and trapped the seed projection, didn't you leave anything for yourself?" The human emperor laughed and shook his head. "Maybe you are also waiting for this opportunity." After saying that, the human emperor avatar gradually dissipated. At the same time, in the divine gate, everyone looked at a crystal passage not far from them. This was the path of rules that the Tao tree had mentioned. It looked like an undersea tunnel. It looked quite beautiful. Everyone was standing on a flat ground outside the tunnel. The place was not too big. The Tao tree said, "After this passage, it is the projection world." Fang Ping nodded. "Is the power of the rule really that strong?" "Very strong." "Will I die even if I break 9? "Maybe, because I have not broken 9. Fang Ping rolled his eyes. At this time, he was still going back on his words. The Tao tree was a little serious. He said slowly, "I know that you may not believe me even if I tell you, but here you should know that the 3 gates do not appear, so I have not broken 3 gates. As soon as this was said, Fang Ping was stunned. The God creation envoy's eyes moved slightly. Then he sneered. "Indeed, it is not considered breaking 9. What great ambition, wanting to break 3 gates at once and directly prove the emperor path. Maybe you want to break 3 true gates directly. Even if you become an emperor, you don't want to be the weakest among them. The Tao tree has a big appetite." As soon as this was said, Fang Ping remembered something that Old Wang had told him. Old Wang had said that Dong Huang wanted him to break 3 gates at once. Breaking 3 gates at once would be more versatile. Dong Huang regretted that he did not reach that stage with 3 gates. He was missing something and not perfect enough. F***ck. Fang Ping cursed in his heart. In that case, the Tao tree's ambition was really big. No wonder this guy was unwilling to go out no matter what. He probably did not want to be projected by the void gate. He wanted to break the true gate directly and break 3 gates at once. There was a lot of vitality in this place. It was not a big deal that there were not 3 gates here. Everyone looked at the Tao tree. The Tao tree said slowly, "On the path of cultivation, everyone wants to become stronger. Everyone wants to transcend. I am no exception. What is ambition? If everyone has this opportunity, your ambition will not be smaller than mine." The Tao tree sighed softly. "This path is difficult and dangerous. Maybe I can try it for everyone. If I succeed, everyone has a chance. If I fail, the 3 realms. I'm afraid it will be difficult for a new emperor to appear." At this time, the Tao tree was as gentle as jade, with a hint of melancholy. Everyone's heart sank. If even the Tao tree failed, could he really become an emperor? Could he really transcend from the chess game? For a moment, there was a feeling of the fox mourning the death of the rabbit. Very soon, someone came to his senses. Foam gave the Tao tree a meaningful look and said, "Summon the emperor now. Who should we summon first?" The Tao tree also returned to its original state, smiling. "To prevent accidents, summon the beast emperor first. There should be no problem with the beast emperor." Everyone looked at him suspiciously. Why was he so sure? The beast emperor is an emperor after all. Emperors also have the majesty of emperors. It won't be killed dozens of times without a sound. Everyone looked at Fang Ping in unison. Fang Ping touched his nose and laughed dryly. Misunderstanding, misunderstanding. I just want to clear the stage. I don't want to humiliate the emperor. Everyone was mentally exhausted. This kid was really evil. After killing the emperor dozens of times in a row, the beast emperor's real body was here, smacking him to death. Even if the clone was here, it might not let him go. This was too much of a bully. Thinking about it this way, what the Tao tree said was not wrong. Of course, to clear the stage, one must find the least unexpected factor to prevent accidents from happening. The beast emperor was the most suitable one. Fang Ping, Tianji, Sheng Hong, the Tao tree called out names one by one. Those who had cleared the beast emperor stage had to make a move and join forces to summon the emperor. Fang Ping, however, did not move. Seeing everyone's unfriendly gazes, Fang Ping laughed dryly. I'll avoid it. After all, I have wisdom. If it sees me, I'm afraid the beast emperor will be angry. If it's angry, it will ignore the rules and kill me. Isn't this a waste of an emperor's resources? What he said. Everyone looked at each other. It seemed like there was nothing wrong with it. If the beast emperor saw Fang Ping, would it really kill him at all costs? Yes, the possibility was very high. Anyone who was smacked to death dozens of times would probably be annoyed, even if it was just clearing the stage. However, for the beast emperor stage, it was a voluntary fusion, not a real smack to death, and turned into a meatball. This time, even the Tao tree was helpless. All right, it made sense. It was better not to use Fang Ping. Chapter 1361. The few who had broken through the beast emperor were called out by the Tao tree. Even Tianji stood out under Hong Yu's signal. They formed a circle at the entrance of the passageway. As for Hong Yu and the rest, they stood around them. Although they did not show anything, everyone was ready to attack at any time. No one knew if the beast emperor was a clone or a projection. Even if it was a projection, it was hard to say if it would listen. Some of these projections were strong and some were weak. If they met a powerhouse, everyone had to be careful not to be killed. Fang Ping hid to the side. The Tao tree and the others were afraid that the beast emperor would see him and kill him at all costs, spoiling the big plan. Fang Ping was happy to be free and watch the show. The God Creation Envoy and the others joined the encirclement. At this moment, there were not many people around Fang Ping. Jiang Hao and the others were not strong enough. They were all at the back, plus a cat that was ignored. This cat, even if it was broken 7, even if it did bad things often, it was still so easily ignored when it came to the crucial moment. A harmless cat. Even the Tao tree did not pay much attention to the cat. Although this cat was bad and oozing pus, it had not killed anyone in so many years. Liar, cough. Fang Ping coughed lightly and reminded, call me by my name, don't call me randomly. Most of his reputation had been ruined by the cat, who was a liar. Calling him a liar in front of so many people, was this not reminding everyone that he was not a good person, although he was indeed not a good person? The cat was too lazy to change its tune and stopped shouting. Looking at the people in the middle forming a circle, under the guidance of the Tao tree, spots of light appeared on their bodies. It asked curiously, will Cat 2 and Cat 3 be summoned? I don't know. Oh, then will Cat 2 and Cat 3 die? Old Cat scratched his head with his claws. Liar, second cat, and third cat are waiting here. If it's broken, won't they die? Fang Ping was silent. Definitely. The second cat and third cat here were just projections. Even if they were not summoned once they entered the passageway and the mystic realm broke, these two cats would be dead. Fong Ping sighed in his heart. These two cats were not real lives. However, the ash cat felt that they were its companions, its little brothers. It would not think too much about it, but it was afraid that it would not feel good. The cat meowed. It lay on Fong Ping's shoulder and said dejectedly, "Does that mean that second cat and third cat will really die?" Big cat. Fong Ping wanted to comfort her, but he did not know what to say. Lying on his shoulder, the cat looked at the people in front and mumbled, "Then, should I summon them? I've prepared a lot of delicious food for them. Second cat still owes me 3 small fish." Fong Ping exhaled and nodded. "Don't worry. Even if I don't summon it now, I'll go over there to take a look before the checkpoint collapses." He took Song Mao to say goodbye. It was not that the old cat did not really understand these things. It actually knew that these two cats would not live for long. The destruction of the mystic realm was almost inevitable. This time, the experts of the 3 realms had come out in full force for the sake of seizing the seed. Without the seed, how could the mystic realm not shatter? Once the mystic realm was destroyed, these projections would naturally cease to exist. "Yes," the cat responded and lay down without saying another word. Second cat and third cat were about to die. The old cat was still a little sad. In this world, it was the only cat, a cat that had lived for tens of thousands of years. It had never met any other cat that had lived for a very, very long time. "Gather!" A low roar sounded, and the entire passageway trembled slightly. Wisps of the power of the rule emerged from everyone. The Tao tree let out a low roar and quickly shouted, "Summon the Beast Emperor." At this moment, in the passageway, a powerful light erupted, like a laser piercing through heaven and earth. At this moment, everyone saw a very clear scene. Heaven and earth became transparent, and outside this transparent heaven and earth, there were 13 light spheres orbiting around. At this moment, this light beam was directly connected to one of the light spheres, just like the roots of the Tao tree that pierced through heaven and earth, connecting the 13 checkpoints. The Beast Emperor checkpoint. The Shuraba. With a loud rumble, a light beam pierced through heaven and earth. At this moment, on the previously empty Shuraba, a figure suddenly appeared. Beast Emperor. The Beast Emperor appeared. The moment the Beast Emperor appeared, he looked at the light beam and could not help but sigh softly, slowly walking toward the sky. At this moment, the Shuraba behind him also slowly began to collapse and dissipate. It still came. The Beast Emperor sighed, the aura on his body gradually becoming stronger. He stepped on the air, walking toward the light sphere in the center. At this moment, on the other side of the light sphere in the center, a transparent passageway appeared. The Beast Emperor followed the light beam, walking step by step. It seemed slow, but in reality, it was extremely fast. On Fong Ping's side, Fong Ping was still investigating the specific location. He had already vaguely sensed the weakness of the space. At this moment, he was carefully locating it, preparing for the next step. In just a short while, heaven and earth broke open. A figure descended slowly. Fong Ping fixed his eyes on it, and his heart trembled. F***CK, so powerful. It had broken 8, right? Wasn't the Beast Emperor trash that he could kill with one slap? Why was it so powerful now? Although breaking 8 was slightly weaker than the others, if it was this strength previously, how could Fong Ping kill the Beast Emperor? However, very soon, Fong Ping understood something. In the transparent heaven and earth, one of the light spheres was extinguishing. The Beast Emperor seemed to have absorbed the power of the Beast Emperor checkpoint, even including some power of the rule, which was why it had the strength to break 8. The Beast Emperor descended. Just as the Tao tree was about to speak, the Beast Emperor glanced over. his gaze as sharp as a knife. There's no need for you to say more. The Beast Emperor's tone was domineering. He looked toward the crystal passageway, as if reminiscing about something. Suddenly, he chuckled. The heavenly realm. It's been so many years since I went to the heavenly realm. Today, I'll go take a look at the three realms. Ignoring everyone, the Beast Emperor walked toward the passageway with his hands behind his back. As he walked, he suddenly sighed. Rock, be kind to the demons. The monster emperor's body trembled slightly. Very quickly, he said in a low voice, I will. Then I have no regrets. Ha ha ha. Celestial Emperor, are you over there? The Beast Emperor laughed heartily and stepped in. As soon as he entered the passageway, there was a rumble. Countless lightning bolts descended from the passageway. Countless hands, wielding all kinds of weapons, slashed at him in a frenzy. Outside the passageway, everyone's expression was solemn. So powerful. These countless hands, each wielding a weapon as they attacked, were probably comparable to the power of a Break 6 attack. This was not just one or two hands, at least 1,000 hands. No wonder Broken Nine's Tao Tree said that it could not hold on. It was lucky that the Tao Tree was not dead. Roar! The Beast Emperor punched out. His fist shadow was like a dragon. A dragon's roar was heard. There was a loud rumble. Lightning was destroyed in all directions, and the giant hand collapsed. However, this was only the beginning. With every step the Beast Emperor took, countless hands attacked, all of them bombarding with lightning. Fong Ping and the others' gazes were extremely solemn. Those Broken 6 heavenly kings were even more frightened. These hands were only at the level of Breaking 6. If it were them entering alone, 3 to 5 hands would not be a big deal. Their Broken 6 would not be so weak that they could not even withstand a Break 6 attack. They could even withstand 10 or 100 attacks. But now, was it a matter of 10 or 100 attacks? At the back of the crowd, Heaven's fate was trembling in fear. The momentum and power of these attacks had also improved a lot in Breaking 6. However, if he were to enter alone, Heaven's fate suspected that he would not be able to walk more than 10 meters. And this passageway, according to the Tao Tree, was probably 10,000 meters long. No wonder even Breaking 9 could not walk through. The Beast Emperor seemed to want to pass through quickly. However, the faster he went, the more giant hands he faced. If he did not go forward, the giant hands in front of him would not appear. If he went forward, the giant hands in front and behind him would appear, increasing in number. If this continued, the Beast Emperor's Broken 8 projection might not be able to hold on for long. Brother Tao Tree, Feng's expression was solemn at this moment. As he watched, he said in a low voice, if the Beast Emperor stayed where he was and slowly obliterated the power of the natural order, would it be safer? If he did not go forward, the giant hands in front would not appear. Then what if he stayed where he was and slowly cleaned it up? The Tao Tree shook its head and sighed. I've tried it before. If you stay where you are, the power of the natural order will slowly recover. You can only continue to wear it down. The longer you drag it out, the weaker you will become. In the end, you might not even be able to go far. Wearing down the power of the natural order obviously would not work. The Tao Tree said again, we can only let the power of the natural order be consumed a little. The purpose of summoning these emperor projections is to consume the power of the natural order here. The more we consume, the safer we will be. If we can consume 70%, we should have no problem passing through safely if we join forces. 70%. Everyone frowned. Could it consume that much? The Beast Emperor was currently fighting a great battle in the passage, but it was not to the extent of consuming a lot of the natural order. The Beast Emperor had a combat strength of over 8. However, he still could not go too fast or too far. Everyone's mood was solemn. This place was not safe. The slightest carelessness could lead to death. The rumbling sounds continued. The Beast Emperor also swept through everything along the way. He was incomparably domineering, and the roar of the dragon was endless. Gradually, the Beast Emperor seemed to be a little weak. At this moment, a sigh sounded in everyone's ears. Fake. It's still fake after all. 3 realms. Let me take another look. A loud roar sounded. The next moment, a giant dragon that covered the sky appeared before everyone's eyes. Dragon. It was too big. The large passage seemed to be unable to contain it. At this moment, in the outside world, outside the 9 heavens, the Beast Emperor saw it. He saw a giant dragon appearing between heaven and earth. Not only did the Beast Emperor see it, but countless people also saw it. They saw the giant dragon that covered the sky. The Beast Emperor frowned. He roughly knew what it was and sighed. Then he snorted coldly, and his voice echoed in the 9 heavens. This scheme has nothing to do with me. It better have nothing to do with you guys. No one replied. At this moment, the giant dragon roared. Death of the divine dragon. Rumble! The giant dragon suddenly spat out flames. Its body rapidly collapsed as all its energy gathered towards the flames. Fight! A roar echoed in all directions. Rumble! Another loud roar sounded. The giant dragon disappeared in the blink of an eye. The scene that appeared previously disappeared as if it had never existed. On the sea, Old Zhang was leading an army to surround an overseas immortal island, forcing them to hand over all their cultivation resources. At this moment, he also saw this scene. Wang Jinyong stood at the side and frowned. The Beast Emperor. Old Zhang did not need him to say it. He knew who it was. The Beast Emperor is dead. Zhang Tao frowned. It seemed to be Emperor Batian before, and now it's the Beast Emperor. They have already reflected the 3 realms. Looking at the power that erupted from the other party just now, even if I can't feel it, and it's just a projection, I'm afraid it has the power to break 8. Yes, Old Wang's eyes were also solemn. Had the arcane realm started to reach this stage, even a broken 8 had died in battle. Whether it was a real person or a clone, if a broken 8 died in battle, it meant that the situation in the arcane realm was not too good. Perhaps it was already the final stage of treasure snatching. What should we do? Old Wang looked at Zhang Tao and said solemnly, Fang Ping hasn't appeared recently. He must have gone in. Otherwise, he would not have ignored such a big matter. Now that he is inside, although the God-forging envoy and senior heavenly king subduing senior have gone, but Zhang Tao was also extremely solemn. Something big must have happened in the arcane realm. At this moment, only half a day had passed since he led the team to clean up the 3 realms. There were only 3 overseas immortal islands that had been cleaned up. Should he go to the Sky Cemetery to provide support now? The point was that even if he went there, he might not be able to find the place. After pondering for a moment, Zhang Tao was too lazy to pay attention to the venerable emperor who walked out of the island in fear. He thought for a while and said, Why don't you and I go to the Sky Cemetery to take a look? This time, almost all the powerhouses of the 3 realms have gone there. I'm afraid that the human race will be surrounded and killed again. That's not what I'm worried about. Old Wang sighed and said, I'm worried about those emperors. The projections of 2 in a row seemed to have been destroyed. It's related to the emperors. Not to mention that the Beast Emperor is not dead yet. Will they not pay attention to that side? Will the other emperors who are not dead not pay attention to that side. The emperors can't easily leave ninth heaven or the origin, but the boundary point is different. They can go there. Huh. Old Zhang's eyes instantly became solemn. The boundary point, emperors can go. Old Wang saw that he had come to a realization and nodded slightly. Even if the emperor's true body can't go in, they can still guard outside. Previously, Fang Ping attacked the emperor. Not to mention the others, once the emperor's true body arrives, Fang Ping will be in big trouble. Old Zhang said, "Then what should we do? This kid just likes to run around. He's not willing to cultivate on earth." Zhang Tao cursed a few times and quickly said, "Why don't we go to the boundary point to help him? Although Heavenly King Suppression and the others are there, they might not be able to take care of him. Even if the emperors don't attack with such a big movement now, I'm worried that the others will also surround and kill him." Old Wang saw that he was panicking and laughed. "There's no use in being anxious. This guy is very smart. He might not be in danger." Although he said that, Old Wang pondered for a while and said, "It's best to withdraw now and not clean up the three realms. Gather the powerhouses and be ready to provide reinforcements at any time. Let Lindsay, Long Bian, and a few other seniors come, including Tian Mu, Gong Zhuanzi, Kai Dai, and other saints. At the critical moment, we can provide reinforcements in time." Zhang Tao cursed and said, "This bastard kid, what's he doing? If he doesn't go, I'll directly wipe out the three realms while there are no powerhouses here this time. If he's here, we can still work together to kill the Palm Imprint envoy. Even if we don't seize the catacombs, we can still weaken the catacombs' strength. Bastard, how did this place break so quickly? It's only been 2 days." He was also very depressed. He thought that this place could trap everyone for at least 10 to 15 days, but it had only been 2 to 3 days. Old Wang glanced in the direction of the celestial cemetery and exhaled. It might not only be 2 to 3 days. That place, space-time is chaotic. Maybe some time has passed. Don't delay anymore. Gather the powerhouses and prepare to help. Old Zhang still felt a little distressed. Of course, they had to help. He was distressed about the resources. After sweeping through 3 islands, they had obtained countless treasures of heaven and earth. According to Old Zhang's calculations, these things were enough for thousands of people to cultivate to high ranks. Although high ranks were not valuable now, it was only relatively speaking. There were countless living beings in the 3 realms, but how many of them had truly reached the peak? Countless of those old antiques had died. Other than those in the current arcane realm, there were less than 200 desperate realms left in the 3 realms, including the humans. Even if the ones in the celestial cemetery were included, there would not be more than 500. The 3 realms had accumulated for tens of thousands of years, but there were only 500 powerhouses above the desperate realm, and this was due to the resurrection of many people. Was a high rank very weak? Anyway, Old Zhang felt that it was not bad. The harvest was huge. Unfortunately, he was worried that something would happen to Fang Ping. Now, he could only stop the sweeping plan, gather the powerhouses, and prepare for reinforcements. Old Wang laughed. "Don't think about these small profits. Maybe Fang Ping will bring back more this time. When has he not gained a lot?" "That's true, but this time the powerhouses have all gone." Old Zhang shook his head slightly. Forget it. He did not expect this kid to bring back anything. It was fine as long as he returned safely. In the arcane realm, Fang Ping and the others were swaying and trembling. After a while, the light in front of them dissipated. Under the Beast Emperor's desperate attack, all the rule power within 100 meters collapsed. The Beast Emperor had also disappeared completely. However, everyone's heart sank. A broken 8. Even if the Beast Emperor's projection only had the strength to break one gate, it was still extremely powerful. What about now? Everyone sensed carefully. The Beast Emperor's consumption of the rule power might be less than 5%. This was too little. With 5% of the rule power, a Brokenate was exhausted to death. It was indeed terrifying. Feng and the others looked solemn, looking at the Dao tree. Feng said in a low voice, "This passageway is too dangerous. Did the Celestial Emperor not prepare to let us pass at all? Was this even human?" The Brokenate died, just like that. Although it was just a projection, it proved how dangerous the passageway was. The Dao tree also frowned slightly and said quickly, "According to my estimation, the Beast Emperor could at least break 2 gates after absorbing the checkpoint's power. It should be able to consume more, but now it's a little weaker. This is because the power consumption is slightly excessive." Everyone looked at Feng Ping at the back again. "What did you do?" Feng Ping looked gloomy and said impatiently, "Why are you looking at me? I didn't do anything to the Beast Emperor. Stop giving me trouble. Hurry up. I see that the rule power here is replenishing." The Dao tree was not in the mood to argue with him. The rule power was indeed replenishing. If no one tried to break through for a long time, the rule power would soon reach its peak. Who's next? Everyone looked at the Dao tree. Who is next? Feng Ping asked, "Can we summon more than one at a time?" "I'll look at them one by one. Even if it consumes a lot, the effect of 1 + 1 is still greater than 2. 2 emperors together, taking care of each other. I think the effect will definitely be better." The Dao tree said in a low voice, "We have to be on guard. I also know that summoning them together will be better, but now there are some problems with some checkpoints. If both of the summoned ones are clones, both of them have the power to break 9. He did not say the rest. Everyone's hearts were palpitating. That was right. One was better. If the Dao tree and them joined forces, they could still easily defeat the other party. But if it was 2, one against the Dao tree, one against them, even if they won in the end, they would still die. If someone died, they would consume a lot of energy. If the summoned clones did not consume the rule power, then they could forget about breaking through this checkpoint. "It's better to come one by one," the Monster Emperor said quickly. "Even if it's slow, it's better to be safe." Everyone nodded. The Dao tree said quickly, "Then we'll summon Celestial Emperor next." There was a problem on Celestial Emperor's side previously. Otherwise, if Celestial Emperor was summoned, he might have the strength to break 9. As he said that, he looked at Feng Ping again, a little sullen. Feng Ping had destroyed the Celestial Emperor's projection. The later Celestial Emperor was only created by the rules, not as spiritual as the previous one. Moreover, his strength was slightly reduced. It was Feng Ping's doing again. Feng Ping could not be bothered to look at him. He said casually, "I killed Celestial Emperor previously, exploding his vitality. I have a grudge against him. I'm not going." Everyone cursed in their hearts. "Killed by you again? Is there anyone else you haven't killed?" The reason why Feng Ping did not go was that summoning seemed to consume more of everyone's strength. Didn't you see that Tianji and the others had not recovered to their peak? He could not guarantee that someone would not take advantage of this time to attack him. Although he could recover quickly, Emperor Nan and Emperor Dong were both killed by me. North Emperor and West Emperor were both fooled by me. You guys can summon at will. It's best not to summon me. The same goes for Spirit Emperor. He can't wait to kill me when he sees me." Feng Ping added a few more words. Everyone's faces darkened even more. This guy was really inhumane. When everyone was breaking through the checkpoints, they did not see anyone killed. Why was it different when it came to him? The summoning continued. This time, it was Celestial Emperor who was summoned. It was Celestial Emperor, who was in a daze. Other than seeing Tengu, it did not have much of a reaction when it saw Iron Head. Fong Ping took a look. Previously, he felt that it was a pity to see Celestial Emperor smashed into pieces. At this moment, he did not have any reaction. This was not Celestial Emperor at all. There was no need to treat him as Celestial Emperor. What should I do if these people summon their clones? What are those clones doing now? Fong Ping also calculated in his heart. Were those clones really waiting to be summoned just like that, waiting to be surrounded and killed? It could not be that simple. While he was thinking about this, the robot that looked like Celestial Emperor rushed into the passageway, foolishly. It did not have any emotional fluctuations. Unlike Beast Emperor, who even communicated with rock, this robot pushed forward all the way and was soon blasted by the power of the rule. Everyone did not have much reaction. They could see that there was something wrong with this Celestial Emperor. It did not have any spirituality. If it died, it died. Some of the power of the rule was consumed again. As for Fong Ping, he had already found the weak point of the passageway leading to the human world. It was a little strange. Did unquestionable Jian come in? Otherwise, how did he break through the passageway? Just as he was carefully locating the weak point, he heard the crowd's discussion, which made him slightly stunned. How's the summoning of Celestial Emperor this time? This was the Tao Tree's suggestion. Fong Ping could not help but think of the last words of Celestial Emperor in the previous checkpoint. Once the checkpoint was cleared, they would meet. Celestial Emperor was going to be summoned. Fong Ping's expression darkened slightly. This was a sentient being. Moreover, it was Old Wang's previous incarnation. Should he do something? Number 2 cat was still there. At this moment, Number 2 cat walked out of its lazy state and pricked up its ears as if listening to their conversation. Chapter 1362. Summon the Heaven Battling Narch. Fong Ping took a deep breath. This was not good news. Of the 13 obstacles, Fong Ping felt that the most mysterious ones were not Emperor or Spirit Emperor, but Heavenly Emperor Zhan, Heavenly Emperor Reverse, and East Emperor. No, perhaps he should add the Earth Sovereign as well. The earthly sovereign directly disappeared. Fong Ping had obtained the other party's keepsake, but until now, he had not discovered any clues. These 4 tests were perhaps the most mysterious. Fong Ping did not see Heavenly Emperor Zhan, but Fong Ping was teleporting at that time. During the teleportation, Zhan Tian-Di actually spoke to him. This was very unusual. In the other stages, who had appeared during the teleportation, Heaven Battling Narch had appeared. The gears in Fong Ping's head spun rapidly. Would there be any accidents if he summoned Heavenly Emperor? Doppelganger? Or was he thinking too much? The appearance of the Heaven Tyrant Narch and the Beast Emperor had only weakened the power of laws by about 10%. There was still a large amount of power of laws here, so it wouldn't be a problem for them to break through the 9th level. Just as everyone was about to summon Heavenly Emperor, Fong Ping wanted to say something but hesitated. He wanted to stop them, but he did not know what to say. Should I stop it? While he was hesitating, Warlord and the others had already been called out and stepped forward. The few of them did not think too much about it and followed the Tao Tree's method from before to begin the summoning. However, something unexpected happened this time. White specks of light spread out from their bodies. A ray of light shot out from the horizon, leading to one of the 13 trials. However, this time was different from the previous 2 times. For the first time, Beast Emperor stepped forward. For the second time, the Batian Celestial Monarch did not have any other reaction and directly came over. But this time, no one came. In the sky, a beam of light pierced through that level, but no one came. The Tao tree's expression changed slightly. Was there really a problem with Battle Heavenly Arch? The others also frowned, and soon the Tao tree shouted, "Stop the summoning!" Everyone stopped and gasped for breath. Feng and the others also looked at the Tao tree. The Tao tree took a deep breath and said solemnly, "I'm afraid there's a problem with the Heavenly Arch, John." Everyone continued to look at him. The Tao tree was still frowning. After a long while, he said in a low voice, "Change. Continue summoning another one that can be summoned." "Wait." Hong Kuan frowned and said, "I'm afraid this isn't the only round with problems in the 13 rounds. Now that we have depleted a large amount of the power of the law, in the end, others may reap the benefits." King Kuan furrowed his brows and looked at everyone. "There are problems with the heaven battling Arch and the human sovereign. Everyone, there might be more problems than we imagined. If this goes on, we might all end up as failures." This couldn't go on. He had only summoned the third one, and there was already a problem. Furthermore, it was the Battle Heavenly Arch stage that no one had expected. What about the others? With that said, everyone looked at the Tao tree again. Hong Kuan frowned and said, "At this stage, there's no need to hide anymore. Everyone had discovered which checkpoints had problems. The final result may be beyond our expectations. If that's the case, we have no choice but to consider giving up." He gave up on the trial. The weaklings naturally didn't have any objections, but the few who had broken through 8 levels were unwilling. The Tao tree also said solemnly, "It's not to that extent yet." Hong Kuan looked at him with a burning gaze. "Tao tree, what are your plans? I don't believe that you don't know that there are problems in these places. Is the Divine Emperor's avatar here as well?" "No." The Tao tree said helplessly, "I've already reached this level. Why would Master let his avatar enter? I'm afraid Master also thinks that I can suppress everything." He said it helplessly. Logically speaking, his ability of breaking through 9 levels should be enough to suppress everything. But now, the number of people who had broken through 8 levels was beyond imagination. The number of problems in each stage was also higher than expected. Hong Kuan did not believe him. He suddenly said, "Emperor, Battle Heavenly Arch and Spirit Emperor might have problems. Don't summon them for now." The reason why he said Spirit Emperor was because many people had never gone to that stage. This was not normal. Hong Yu said slowly, "There might be problems with Heavenly Thearka's stage." On the other side, Feng Xiao said, "There seems to be something wrong with Emperor West Stage 2. In the blink of an eye, all 5 stages might have problems." Fang Ping said quietly, "There might be changes with Emperor East Stage." Everyone's expression changed slightly. 6 stages. The Tao tree's expression changed too. He knew there were problems with some stages, but now, there were so many? Fang Ping said quietly again, "There might be problems with the Divine Emperor stage." "Nonsense!" The Tao tree bellowed. Then, his pupils contracted. It was hard to say. He knew that his master's clone did not come, but the Divine Emperor did seem a little unusual. Could it be that there was really a problem with Master's stage? If that was the case, out of the 13 stages, 7 had problems. In addition to the 2 who had disappeared, and the earthly emperor who had been defeated before, now only Emperor Nan, Emperor North, and Heaven Exterminating Emperor might have problems. Fang Ping smiled. "Actually, this is a good chance to test it. Everyone, why don't we test it? Summon the Divine Emperor." Few people went to Master's stage, and not many passed. The Tao tree explained, "If there are few people, it is almost impossible to condense a nomological passageway. The projections inside cannot come out. I condensed a material passageway, not a nomological passageway." There were indeed few who passed the Divine Emperor stage. Or rather, the Tao tree was the only one. The others, including Fong Ping, did not pass. Fong Ping raised his brows. You can't summon it? If that's the case, who would believe that you and your disciple are fine? If the Divine Emperor is also a clone, and you and your disciple are both broken 9, we might as well give you the benefits. Why should we waste our time? The Tao tree was a little annoyed. Master's clone probably did not come to the Divine Emperor stage. He had actually considered this before. It was also because of these concerns that the Divine Emperor's clone did not come. If his clone came, this master-disciple pair was too strong. Then the others would target them. That was why when the Tao tree sent the message, he also mentioned this. That was why the Divine Emperor used the heaven-breaking jade. And now the Tao tree was uncertain. His clone went to the master stage, but it was destroyed. At the last moment of the clone's destruction, some information was still transmitted. The Tao tree frowned and said nothing. Fong Ping suddenly sighed. Why don't we go back to our own homes and find our own mothers? How do we get out of here? I don't know how many Emperor's clones have come in. Emperor's clones usually have broken 7 strength. But now, I think they all have broken 9 strength. If this goes on, even if we open up the passageway, we'll be working for others. Moreover, we don't know how many people will die if we open up this passageway. These people are all waiting for us to exhaust ourselves. I don't want to be their scavenger. The scene became stagnant. Give up. Not willing. Not giving up. But if they did not give up, more and more obstacles were appearing. If this went on, it might really be like what Fong Ping said. In the end, others would benefit. Hongyu said slowly, can't we summon clones? It's not that we can't summon them, the Tao tree explained, but it depends on whether the other party is willing or not. We condensed the rule passageway. Actually, they can also walk through it. But if it's a clone, it doesn't have the ability to force them. In other words, if it's a projection, it can force the other party to enter this place. Then Heavenly Emperor Battle, someone frowned. Heavenly Emperor Battle was a clone? The Tao tree also knew what the other party meant. After a moment of silence, he said, there's another possibility. If the other party is proficient in the rules and is strong enough to break through the rules guarding the checkpoint, at this point, we can't summon them by force. Which one is Heavenly Emperor Battle? It could be the latter. The Tao tree side. Heavenly Emperor Battle. Heavenly Emperor Battle has been problematic for many years. If it's a clone, unless he's been here for many years, otherwise it's not a clone. Everyone looked at each other, feeling a headache all of a sudden. On the other side, the underworld god said calmly, why don't we try the other obstacles, summon those who can be summoned, and wear down some of the power of the rules? Those who can't be summoned are all problematic. We have some preparations too. If we really can't do it, we'll give up. Fong Ping said, lazily, preparations? How do we prepare? There are so many people. If all of them have problems, I think we should just go home. The Tao tree did not want to hear these words that would dampen everyone's fighting spirit. He said in a low voice, fellow Fong, who doesn't want to transcend when they've cultivated to our level? The opportunity is right in front of us. Besides, even if it's a clone, even if it's a 0.9, so what? After all, a clone is not the real body. Even if it's a 0.9 clone, it's not invincible. Its combat strength is weaker than a normal 0.9. Fong Ping laughed. How many clones can you deal with? The Tao tree frowned. After a moment of silence, he said in a low voice, 2. Fong Ping's pupils contracted slightly. Amazing! Senior Tao tree is really powerful. I think even if the Emperor's true body comes, he might not be your match. The Tao tree frowned. and said coldly, "Fellow Tao, why do you have to flatter me? Do you really think that everyone is unprepared? After all, a point 0.9 clone is not the real body. 5.8 are enough to withstand it. Clones and the real body were still different. Reflexes, attack power, adaptability, combat techniques, physique, these things were slightly worse than a normal point 0.9. The Tao tree looked at the God creation envoy, then at Fong Ping's side, chaos, and Sherpa. He said slowly, "On your side, there's hope to defeat or even kill a point 0.9 clone." On Fong Ping's side, there were 4.8 powerhouses. However, the God creation envoy was very strong. In addition, Fong Ping and Song Mao were also point 0.7, comparable to a point 0.8. By saying this, the Tao tree was obviously telling Fong Ping that even a point 0.9 was not invincible. He was really afraid that these people would run away. If they really ran, this passageway might not be opened. There were many powerhouses on Fong Ping's side. As he said that, the Tao tree said with a faint smile, "Moreover, the town hasn't arrived yet." There was still hope, even if there were many problems with the checkpoints. Only by opening the passageway could Master and Senior seize the seed in an instant. Otherwise, with Master's strength, once he descended, the mystic realm would collapse very quickly. Once it collapsed, the seed projection would disappear. If the passageway did not open, the Divine Emperor would have to break the passageway first when he descended. By the time he broke it, the daylilies would be cold. The Tao tree also had a plan in mind. The crisis was not a crisis. Don't look at how there were many clones here. Once Master's real body arrived and seized the seed in an instant, the mystic realm would shatter. Those clones, it would be fine if Master did not kill them. If he wanted to kill them, none of them would be able to escape. How powerful was the Divine Emperor? When the time came, when the thing was in Master's hands, even if the other emperor's real body arrived, who could seize the treasure from the Divine Emperor? This was the Tao tree's plan. The premise was that the passageway was opened. Even if he joined forces with the other emperors, he had to open the passageway. He had stayed here for so many years and tried countless times. This time, it was also the last time. It could definitely be opened. Fong Ping could not be bothered to say anything more. He said casually, "Up to you. If you want to continue, then continue. All of you are so confident. I'm afraid you've been prepared for a long time." Fong Ping sneered, too lazy to say anything more. At this moment, he found a place to sit down casually, closed his eyes, and began to cultivate. When everyone saw this, some frowned, some focused. This guy Fong Ping had always been the one to benefit immediately. Why did he have a change this time? Was he really afraid, or did he feel that there were too many powerhouses, and he had no hope, so he had to give up? But there were also many powerhouses on Fong Ping's side, right? Fong Ping was meditating. Li Zhu glanced at him and quickly sent a voice transmission. "Brother Yu, be careful. Fong Ping has to be on guard. The God Forging Envoy and Heavenly King Subduing are not kind people." Hong Yu responded and suddenly sent a voice transmission. "Brother Li, are you confident?" "Confident?" Li Zhu paused and sent a voice transmission. "I've talked to the Emperor. He can join forces with us." For the Emperor, there are two purposes for this trip. First, to stop the Tao tree from breaking through. Second, to find the real seed. As for us, what we need is life energy and the power of true blood. There is no conflict. And finding the real seed is actually also our goal. Emperor, Hong Yu fell into silence. After a while, he sent a voice transmission. "You, me, and the Emperor, our strength is not enough." Li Zhu's voice transmission was full of smiles. "Brother Yu, did you not make any preparations?" They knew that the Tao tree had broken through 9, but they did not leave. Did they really not make any preparations? Feng will join forces with us. After this, I will invite Feng to join the heavenly court and become the third master. What do you think, Brother Li? Sure. Li Zhu had no objections at all. Feng was very powerful. After this trip, he would be able to break through 2 gates very quickly. Now that the heavenly court was being suppressed by the humans, it was a good thing to have a second gate powerhouse join them. If Feng was included, their chances would be higher. Han Yu said again, "This is not enough, but it's enough to protect ourselves for now. If it's really impossible, then we'll give up." Li Zhu asked, "Do you think Hong Kun will cooperate with him?" Han Yu was in deep thought. After a while, he replied, "It's hard to say. Emperor of Heaven, Reverse might join forces with him. He cultivates energy and was taught by Emperor of Heaven Reverse for many years. It must have something to do with Emperor of Heaven Reverse that he could break through 8 gates." With that, Hong Yu added, "Emperor of Beast might join forces with him." Li Zhu was confused. Hong Yu explained, he and Emperor of Beast have been in the Bitter Sea for a long time. They must have communicated, or else the divine sect and Emperor of Beast would not be so peaceful. Of course, they might not join forces. We will have to wait and see. I understand. While they were discussing, King Qian, King Zhen, and the others were also discussing with each other. Their voices could not escape the Dao Tree's notice. The Dao Tree did not mind. It would be more terrifying if everyone was silent. He did not care about that. He just wanted to break through. His only goal was to break through the passageway. As for what happened after that, it was simple. The Dao Tree glanced at Fang Ping from the corner of his eyes. He was worried. It was better to kill Fang Ping and take back the sky-breaking jade. Otherwise, he was worried that something might go wrong. The true form of the Divine Emperor was his safeguard. "Everyone, let's continue." The Dao Tree said softly, "Try one by one. This time, we will summon Emperor Nan." Everyone had their own ulterior motives, but did not object. The summoning began again. Luan was anxious. She carried her sword and paced around Fang Ping. She could not help but sit down again. She said quickly, "Kid, what are you thinking? Where is the treasure? There are so many problems. These people know there are problems, but they still continue. They must have reached an agreement with some of them." Fang Ping opened his eyes and smiled. "They have reached an agreement. Didn't we reach an agreement with Emperor Ling? Can we trust that? Then can we trust their cooperation?" Fang Ping did not think so. Cooperation based on interests. Whoever has a higher chance of winning will have a fence-sitter. If there is no other way, we can just rely on one side. Luan said impatiently, "Be careful that they are like you. Get rid of the third party first. *T stirs. We are all like them. Who else would they kill if not us?" Fang Ping's eyes widened. "Damn, you know your limits too well." Luan's face darkened. "What? You don't want to admit it? You should know better." He was regretting now. He should not have stood on the side of Fang Ping, the biggest *T stirrer. It was too late to retreat now. He had just thought about it. Now everyone was used to Fang Ping's methods and knew Fang Ping's *T stirring ability. If there was a conflict and there were many forces, who would be killed? Nonsense. Of course, it was Fang Ping's side. Fang Ping, Sherpa, Luan, Heavenly Dog, Sang Mao, God Creation Envoy, none of them were good people. They changed their faces like flipping a book, one faster than the other. One had a limit. It was too dangerous. Now, he was a little afraid, because no one contacted them. This was not normal. In the past, with the tree, everyone would have discussed how to get rid of it in private. However, no one mentioned it this time. Fang Ping brought up the topic several times, but no one answered. This was not normal. As they were talking, Emperor Nan was summoned. With a soft sigh, Emperor Nan did not say anything. He stepped into the air and walked toward the passageway. Then, he repeated what the previous two had done. On Fang Ping's side, Xueli looked sad. Li Wuji did not feel anything. He was not familiar with Emperor Nan. After all, Emperor Nan had taught him the vitality convergence skill. Fang Ping still bowed slightly and sent him on his way. However, that was all. This was the mission of these projections. As for Heavenly Emperor Zhan, he was related to Old Wang. Otherwise, Fang Ping would not care if he lived or died. When Emperor Nan went to challenge the trial, the God-forging envoy also came over. With a slightly grave expression, he said, "Kid, be careful. Something's not right. I went to test the god of the underworld, and it turns out that there's something wrong with that old guy. In the Chu Wu lineage, 3 people have broken through 8, 7 to 5, and more than 60. If they work together, they can even fight those who have broken through 9. The god of the underworld might not have given up on killing the cat, especially now that the ash cat had broken through to the 7th level. Its source was even more powerful. Killing the ash cat might cause even more turbulence in the source. Be careful, don't get tricked." Fang Ping's heart skipped a beat. Had Chu Wu not given up on killing the Tsang cat? Well, it's not that easy. After persevering for so many years, how could he give up so easily? The sacred martial god was also among the beginners. In the Chu Wu lineage, there were more than 1 or 2 who wanted to kill the cat. In the beginning, Fang Ping felt that killing the cat might not be of much use. At most, the source would be shaken. So what? However, the Chu Wu lineage persevered for so many years just because it might be shaken. The black mire in the cat's source was the real problem. Could it be that killing the cat, those negative things, will pollute the entire Tao like inner demons, causing the powerhouses of the 3 realms to go berserk? Fang Ping suddenly had this thought. Then his eyes moved slightly, and he transmitted his voice to the innocent-looking cat. "Big cat, who knows that there's a black mire in your source?" The Chu Wu lineage would not kill the cat for no reason. Even back then, did they already know that the cat's source world was different from the others? The cat looked at Fang Ping innocently. After thinking for a while, he said, "1 for you, 1 for the cat-protecting captain, 1 for Big Dog, 1 for Little Sword. I think that's it." It did not remember very clearly. After thinking for a while, it said, "Big Fatty seems to know too. I don't remember." Fang Ping frowned. 5 people might know. Of course, he would not leak the secret. Unquestionable Sword would not either, because the first time he killed the cat was in ancient times. Unquestionable Sword was not even born yet. Tianchun, Heavenly Hound, Spirit Emperor. Fang Ping's gaze changed. Killing the cat, the source lineage would probably be greatly affected. The Chu Wu lineage had always wanted to kill it, but someone wanted to protect it. Protect it. Tianchun should be protecting it, right? Otherwise, why would he fight Fire God to death in the past? Heavenly Hound. Would this dog betray the cat? Otherwise, Heavenly Hound would have the chance to kill the cat. What about Spirit Emperor? Fang Ping's head hurt. He felt that it was impossible. How did the Chu Wu lineage know that killing the cat would cause serious damage to the source? The black mire is still a problem. The Chu Wu lineage might not have given up. Fang Ping's eyes flickered. He might have been too optimistic before. He felt that there was hope for the human race to rely on the Chu Wu lineage. Would it really be like what he imagined? King Kuan and the others did not know anything at all. They probably thought that killing the cat would not affect them much. At most, the source would be shaken for a while. This was also the reason why these people did not stop the Chu Wu lineage from killing the cat. But they did not know about the existence of the black mire. The black mire. What the hell is this? Fong Ping racked his brains. Suddenly, his pupils constricted, and he looked at the cat. The cat looked at him curiously. What was going on? Why was he looking at the cat like that? Mire, cat world, the source, flaws, loopholes. Fong Ping murmured in his heart. Were these two related? Were they? They were both a world with some problems. There were some problems in the cat world, and there were also some problems in the source. The Celestial Emperor's people were protecting the cat. The Celestial Emperor was suppressing the loopholes. Fong Ping looked at the cat. Suddenly, the more he looked, the more he muttered. Was this cat raised by the Celestial Emperor, an existence that could freely roam the source? The cat also stared at Fong Ping with wide eyes, as if it had discovered something. The cat's face was full of horror. Fong Ping was shocked and asked hurriedly, "What's wrong?" The big cat looked confused. "Nothing. You look at me like that, and this cat looks at you like that." Fong Ping almost died of anger. "You stupid cat, I thought something was wrong." At this moment, with a rumble, Emperor Nan's projection disappeared. About 15% has been consumed. Fong Ping murmured. The next moment, the Tao tree shouted again, "Summon North Emperor." Emperor Nan was no problem. Everyone began to summon North Emperor. As for Fong Ping, he rubbed his cheeks. The problem seemed to be more serious than expected. Chu Wu might not be an ally. He might even be an enemy with a fatal blow. Previously, he thought that Sky Arm had always been helping him, so they could cooperate. The underworld god's attitude was also not bad, so they could also join forces. But now, it might not be the case. Hong Yu and the others are not on good terms with us. If Chu Wu also wants to attack us, the more Fong Ping thought about it, the more troubled he became. Even if Heavenly King Suppressing could really take Broken Nine away, there were still a lot of powerhouses present. Would Sherpa and Luan really stand with them all the time? Not necessarily. I might be in trouble. No, I have to take advantage of this opportunity to seize the 9 Emperor Seals immediately. I must do it now. Otherwise, the Demon Emperor will not compromise after this. He might even join forces with the others to kill me this time. Fong Ping's heart shook again. It was very possible, since the Demon Emperor knew that he was determined to seize the 9 Emperor Seals. He was unwilling to give it to him at this time. Did he really think that he would not snatch it? Demon Emperor. Fong Ping glanced at the Demon Emperor. At this moment, the Demon Emperor's mentality seemed to fluctuate. Fong Ping could not sense it too clearly. Fong Ping's expression changed. He looked at the cat and transmitted his voice. "Who is the Demon Emperor talking to?" The cat blinked, scratched its head with its claws, and said, "That guy is so weak. What a weak guy. Illusion." Fong Ping's expression changed. The Demon Emperor had joined forces with Chu Wu. Damn it. They were definitely targeting the cat and him. Otherwise, the Demon Emperor would not have joined forces with Chu Wu. No, he could not wait like this. Previously, Fong Ping wanted to force the Demon Emperor to hand over the 9 Emperor Seals at a critical moment when they were in danger. But now, Fong Ping realized that he was really too optimistic. Since I want the 9 Emperor Seals, I should get it as soon as possible. So what if I have to shed all pretense of cordiality? Fong Ping's expression was solemn. He could not wait any longer. Otherwise, once those clones arrived, he would not have a chance anymore. Damn it, I'm too optimistic. I've underestimated these people's determination to eradicate me and the cat. Fong Ping stood up abruptly. His chi was bursting, instantly attracting everyone's attention. Everyone who was about to summon North Emperor suddenly looked at Fong Ping, slightly surprised. As for Fong Ping, His chi was bursting, his murderous intent was awe-inspiring. If he wanted to snatch it, he would snatch it now. Otherwise, once the battle started, his life and death were uncertain. Heavenly King Garrison and the others might not be able to help him much. How would he have the time to fight with the Demon Emperor for this item? Only at this time, when everyone had concerns and wanted to break through, was the best time. Everyone frowned. What was Fong Ping trying to do? The God Creation Envoy and the others also looked at Fong Ping. As for Fong Ping, his eyes were cold. He looked at the Demon Emperor and said coldly, "Hand over the 9 Emperor seals." The Demon Emperor's expression was cold. Hong Yu, Li Zhu, and the others also frowned. King Koen even shouted, "Fong Ping, let's talk about this after we break through." Hand over the 9 Emperor seals. A saber appeared in Fong Ping's hand. His chi surged again. He shouted coldly, "Hand over the 9 Emperor seals." Bastard! The Demon Emperor was furious. The powerhouses of the 3 realms were all here. Fong Ping actually forced him to hand over the 9 Emperor seals. This was too much. Boom! The soaring vitality shook the entire passageway. The Demon Emperor was furious. You're tuning in to the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.